San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the NBA playoffs.
Down the middle of the lane, takes it right to the rim and flushes.
KTFM Floorsville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
Breaking this afternoon, New Orleans Pelicans big man Zion Williamson is being sued over allegations of rape. The complaint, which was filed in Los Angeles, claims that Williamson raped, kidnapped, and assaulted a former girlfriend multiple times throughout their 5-year relationship. Williamson is denying those allegations. And the Knicks stayed alive, beating the Pacers last night. Game 6 in Indiana tomorrow. You can catch it right here on 94.1.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Not only that, it is Friday. You know, some Fridays are better than other Fridays, Jason.
Yeah, that's true.
Today is considered a great Friday because we are live at Globe Life Field, getting ready to watch those St. Louis Cardinals do a little business.
Well, I mean, it's the Texas Rangers game where we are. A little field trip Friday here on the Blitz. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. And I got to say, I've got to hand it to Joe. Compliment Joe. Peer pressure gets to this guy more than you know. You know, we were on a flight this morning, delayed obviously because of all the crap weather in San Antonio.
Yeah.
We get to Love Field about an hour late. Not that bad of a delay. And the plane parks, and Joe stayed in his seat.
I did. I actually stayed in my seat. Well, there was a reason for that.
You didn't know the reason when you decided to stay in your seat. The peer pressure of being the a-hole that jumps up right away got to you, and you stayed in your seat. Then the announcements came, and you were like, good reason you stayed in your seat.
Well, there were several of those people that you described as being a-holes, and they all stood up. But the problem was, apparently, there was a plane boarding that a lot of these people were having to get on, and so I was nice enough to let them go. And
it was one of those.
Pressure.
You know, they were like, all right, we get there, and Joe stayed, and I looked at him, and he looked at me and smiled, and they were like, all right, if you're on that flight to Indianapolis, it's gate 3, and they're holding that plane, so let's let those people off first. But you had stayed in your seat anyway.
Well, you see,
I'm giving you credit, man.
I was going to be content for you either way. So if I stand up, I'm content because I stood up. If I sit down, I'm content because I sat down. And so I'm doing you a favor, Minix.
Well, either way, I know yesterday we read the story about over in, where is it, Turkey?
Turkey.
You now get fined if you're, as they described it, uncivilized people and stand up as soon as the plane lands.
Uncivilized. Yes. That's right. We'll get some goodies over here from the fine folks with the Texas Rangers. 2025 Texas Rangers yearbook.
Look
there
at
you
that.
go. How about that? If you're watching on YouTube, you can see what we're talking about here. Very nice. And I tell you what, they've been fantastic to us, by the way. The minute we arrived, the hospitality's been fantastic. We're all set up here in, what do they call this? Comerica Backyard.
Yes.
It is a cool place.
It's a gathering spot. Obviously, we're center field. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the field behind us to a degree. And what you can't see is to our right, there's all the beer coolers. But it's just kind of a cool area. There's some picnic tables. And so I guess if you're walking around, batting practice before the game, you look at tonight's game. It's Texas Tech night here at the Rangers game at Globe Life Field. Their basketball coach is going to throw out the first pitch. It is a sold-out game.
Sold-out game? Well, dude, the Cardinals are in town. What do you expect?
I thought it was because it was Texas Tech night.
That has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Everybody wants to see America's team play.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Is that what it is?
That's exactly what it is.
The Texas Rangers.
Here we go.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And some dude over yonder has one of those like 3-foot boomstick hot dogs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we may have to get one of those. Before it's all said and done.
I mean, and those are good. You need a bunch of people to eat fork and knife with that kind of dog. But the Hurtado's, I think that's how you say it, barbecue joint here. Everybody here has said, you got to go get that barbecue. And it was so popular, they've added a second location in the stadium, and they're talking about a third.
Well, the one guy, the engineer for 105.3 The Fan, they're over there, and he was saying the original is just like 5 minutes from here.
Uh-huh.
So it must be a very popular spot.
It is, although I'm trying to think, and I might have the list. I don't think it made the Texas Monthly top 50 in the state. Although one, and I haven't been to this place yet, and I won't this weekend because of our time limits, but Goldie's is one of the newer spots that has jumped up high on the list of barbecue.
Goldie's.
All
right. Well, I mean, I wish we had some time to do that, but we got a ball game to watch tonight. We got a ball game to watch tomorrow. I'm not sure how much time there's going to be for barbecue.
No, and Evie Mays over in Woolworth, that's kind of close. Seeing what other Danes in Aledo, kind of close. Goldie's in Fort Worth is number 3 on the list. I kept the list.
You did. I noticed that. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm surprised you don't have that thing framed and planning your next vacation.
It's not going to be framed because you got to put notes on a piece of paper like that when you're like, all right, I'm in the area. How much time do I have? Am I going to go sample what Texas Monthly calls some of the best barbecue in the state? I know you're too good for that, but a lot of people like to travel and say, all right, I hear a lot about this spot. I've got to go give that a try.
Well, that's fine. If I happen to be there, I'll do that, but I'm not going to go out of my way to say, well, I got to go here because I got great barbecue when I've passed about 5 others on the way. I'm just saying, if I'm there, well, I'll try it out.
Again, some people do plan their vacations that way. Knowing you've got to say, you know what, I'm going to that WinStar Casino, and so while I'm in that area, I'm going to go eat that barbecue.
Perfect. Yes. Perfect. Or well, maybe not. If they've got a location inside the casino, I'll try it, but I'm not sure that I'm going to venture out. I just
once
don't know.
Once you get to the casino, you're not leaving the casino.
Exactly.
Yeah, well intentions are there. The Wookiee sends a text that says, you guys need to go get that big ass chili dog.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's going to happen because
I love wieners.
Well, somebody who was it? CD's Nuts on our YouTube page.
What?
It says Joe is a glizzy gobbler, and again, I have no idea what that means because I
know what that means.
I refuse to associate glizzy with a hot dog.
Uh-huh.
I'm not.
I'd like to see that gobbler.
But you understand, a glizzy is a hot dog.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
You just don't want to use that terminology.
Somebody made that up. I mean, some dude said, "Hey, well, we'll start calling a hot dog a glizzy."
While he was drinking his beer through it, it was one of the New York either Yankees or Mets games. Isn't that how it started?
I have no idea. Glizzy.
And then Pledge was a part of the glizzy challenge that we had, and I was really surprised and, quite frankly, afraid at how good he was at the glizzy challenge.
Don't we all wish we could see more wiener?
Yeah, exactly. Pledge was pretty damn good at that, wasn't he?
I mean, it was alarming.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I know Pledge pretty well, but I learned something new that day.
Yeah, he was very good. I put on a show there at the Roo Pub.
I realized there that if there is a competition, James Pledger is going to do everything he can to do. I mean, way back, maybe within the first 2 years of this station. So 15, maybe 16 years ago, the first iteration of this show, we were planning to do a hands-free corn dog eating contest, and we had 12 zone girls lined up, ready to go, and we had promoted this. The trophy was incredible. We had all this. Some of you guys remember this, and right before we were about to do that, legal stepped in and says we can't.
Why not?
Well, no, because somebody did a drinking water contest and died in, I don't know, Seattle or something, and so the liability was there. So instead they had to peel the breading off the corn dogs without damaging the wiener. Is ultimately what ended up happening.
I would imagine that might be kind of hard.
It was
no pun intended.
Every pun was intended on that. But I think I'm trying to think. I think Julie Blanda won, and Natalie Tejeda might have been second.
Oh, that surprised me at all. I'm surprised she was second. Are you kidding me? That'll test your gag reflex, won't it?
Well, there was no eating. It was.
We're going to have a good time today, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's Friday. Anything goes. You know that. And that's don't do that.
Yeah.
I'll be distracted the rest of the show. Because
Really?
I know who that is, and if you missed that episode, that's then I'm sorry you did. But I know who it is, and I can still see her face. Oh my goodness,
It's Crawfish.
yeah, it's Crawfish. Are you sure?
I saw the video.
That was Livy Dunn did that,
Yes.
by the way. She was showing everybody how to eat crawfish and doing a hell of a job at it. A hell of a job.
That was not audio of Pledge doing the Glizzy challenge.
No, it could have been, though. It could have been. I think he made some noises like that. Does that help you get the Glizzy done there, Pledge? I don't know. If you just make the noises.
Tell me how to play a trombone.
Because you know how that is. You know, these tennis players, and I don't know why they do that.
They're grunting.
Well, I know, but why?
Yeah, well, force.
I have people in the gym are like, "Brrr," and they're lifting weights and they're making noise.
You don't make noise when you're lifting weights?
I don't. No, I try not to.
Screaming
anyway.
for help?
Well, I try not sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. So I'm just wondering if it, you do that. Does it help?
Do that. Don't do that. She can do that.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
My goodness. We are live at Globe Life Field, by the way, and getting ready to watch the Texas Rangers play the St. Louis Cardinals here tonight, and looking forward to that. We're up in the Comerica backyard where everybody's going to gather. Texas Tech night tonight here at Globe Life Field. So we'll be talking a lot about that for sure, but we have to talk about the Pacers simply collapsing last night, not showing up at all and losing that game. And Jason, remember Caitlin Clark's wannabe lover who was a reporter?
The weird reporter in Indianapolis?
He strikes again. We will tell you all about that when we continue live from Globe Life Field. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I called up Caitlin.
Oh, that was creepy.
I like that you're here.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolfpack.
It was a sad day for Hooters.
What were they wearing in place of the uniform again?
We've had hostesses that may have been a little larger that couldn't wear the outfit, so they had safari shorts on and khaki shirts.
Oh.
It was a pretty low point in my life.
So it's not just me.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Claire. She loves her motorcycle, and she's learned to love the insects she encounters on her rides. She may not know the difference between a gnat and a mosquito at 55 miles per hour, but she does know one thing. It's always gross when one flies into her mouth. But she's so used to it that it's weird when it doesn't happen. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back with comprehensive and collision coverage from America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in DC.
Celebrate youth sports with the San Antonio Brahmas. The Herd returns to the Alamo Dome Sunday, June 1st to take on the Arlington Renegades in their final home game of the season. Celebrate the future of sports as they highlight young athletes, players, and coaches in their Celebrate Youth Sports game. Bring the family and enjoy the fun with local community mascots, a halftime youth flag football showcase, and of course, Brahmas football. Get your tickets at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com. Our town, our team, our herd.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell and Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Some people
people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the mirror fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Live from Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, home of the Texas Rangers. This is The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix is here as well. And, boy, what a great place to do a show. You think we'd do this, like, I don't know, every day?
No.
I'd kind of like to. It'd be good.
Sure, it'd be it's a field trip Friday.
It is. Yeah.
And we do this about once a year. We come up, and a lot of times we choose the game because I'm nice, and Reinagel is a huge Cardinals fan. So if they're here, we're here. Although Eric Bishop on Twitter calling you out. For not wearing at least a red shirt if you didn't have the stones to wear a Cardinals shirt.
Well, it will be on by game time, and so I'm going to do that. But look, there's a bunch of nice folks that work for the Rangers, and I didn't want to, you kind of got to suck up to them and be politically correct.
You don't.
Well, you don't. I do.
I mean, you don't.
Isabella is walking us around, and she's nice, and I don't want to. I don't want
to. She doesn't care. The reality, even if you were just wearing a red shirt, that would look like a Ranger shirt.
It would.
All right.
It would.
You could. In fact, when my wife was packing and she put red shorts in, I'm like, you can't wear those. We're playing the Cardinals.
Red shorts.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Because it goes with their shirt. She thinks about stuff like that, right? And and I was like, you can't wear red shorts.
Well, don't tell anybody because tomorrow, when we come to the game, I may be forced to dress matching my wife.
Oh, no. 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 No.
I know. Look, when we first got married, and all of Maggie's family is from St. Louis, so we rented out this little party room there at Busch Stadium, and bought shirts. And I told even my future son-in-law is a huge Astros fan. I said, dude, you can't come unless you wear a Cardinals shirt of some sort.
So I take it he didn't show up?
No, he did. He showed up. and he looked good. So we've still got those shirts, and you know, I'll wear it around. I've never worn it out anywhere, but they were packed. Both of them. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out, although she may wear hers tonight and thinking I'm going to wear mine tonight. And I didn't plan. I bought another Cardinal shirt to wear tonight.
Well, see, here's the thing, because even on our YouTube channel, and you can always subscribe and watch on YouTube, see the great backdrop. That's the field behind us there.
Yes.
It almost looks like one of those weird green screens.
It does.
But it's the actual field. But go to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. But Jacob Eric says, are y'all going to be sitting behind home plate again? Not tonight, but we will tomorrow. And so tomorrow, you got to be very careful, because in those seats, you are on TV all night long. All night long. I mean, if you're eating a hot dog, you better be careful and face the other way, because otherwise you're going to be a meme. But the other part of that is you're not allowed to wear visiting stuff down there. They won't let you in.
Yeah, I've seen people down there with the. Yeah, I will. Absolutely will. Now, and I'm probably going to look great. I bet you, just a wild hair bet, that I won't be the only one. Because, see, here's what's happened. I was trying to explain this to Minix earlier. You know, the Cardinals are kind of like America's team, the baseball version.
Yeah, the Yankees would like to work.
So there will be a ton of Cardinal. In fact, the hotel we're staying in saw a dude walking around with a Cardinal hat on.
Well, it's the closest. Well, not the closest now that they've opened up these lows. It used to be the closest hotel to this stadium. So sure, there's going to be Cardinal fans in the hotel before the game. But let me rephrase that. The guy that owns the suite, does not allow people in wearing other gear.
No, he does. He's such a nice guy. Are you kidding me?
He does not.
He didn't tell me that.
I can tell you, and I know they've done this. This is 100% true. When the Astros are here, they will come in with Rangers gear and have you put it on if you want to stay in that suite.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow. Well,
I don't know if they will do that for the Cardinals, because nobody gives a damn about the Cardinals. But, you know, it's possible. I also see Redbird's Junkie on our YouTube feed watching us while he is driving. Says he's 6 minutes from the Airbnb and then he's coming over. And if you are doing that, if you're coming to the game tonight, when gates open and they let you in, we're in the Comerica backyard. We're looking right at the old stadium.
Yeah, we are.
Now called Choctaw, apparently. Choctaw Stadium, home of the Arlington Renegades.
See, I didn't know that. I'm glad I got educated today on that.
Although no game this weekend there, because they're playing in San Antonio against the Brahmas on Sunday at 11.
That's right. They are.
But yeah, where we are is pregame beer area. So it should be fun in a couple hours when they start letting people in for a sold out baseball game tonight.
Texas Tech night here at Globe Life Field, which is pretty cool. It is sold out. It includes a custom Texas Tech Texas Rangers jersey. So that's what the folks get, and I'm assuming anybody gets those.
No,
right?
If you bought the tickets with the Texas Tech thing.
Okay, gotcha.
It says it right there on the sheet.
Oh, it does. Boy, it sure does. Look at that. How about that?
Oh man, but you don't have tonight, and it's get used to it, because we're about to have a lot of these. The nights where there's no NBA and there's no hockey. Now, we'll talk hockey and what happened and the Dallas Stars crapping the bed last night coming up. But talk about crapping the bed. Tyrese Halliburton coming off of an incredible performance, the complete opposite last night. The Knicks keep the series alive. Got a text last night from a friend who was listening yesterday saying, conspiracy theories, huh? There are black helicopters flying around the Garden?
Boy, I tell you what, because the NBA wanted a game on Saturday. Couldn't go the entire weekend without having a game, because the finals don't start until next Thursday.
Yep.
So, but I tell you what, Indiana, I think got a little cocky. Now, I'm going to give New York a lot of credit, because the defensive adjustments they made were good, and I think it surprised the Pacers a little bit. But, you know, if you're gambling on, well, we want to win at home in front of, that's a dangerous gamble for any team to have, because if you lose game 6 and got to come back to New York, woo, that's going to be scary.
Well, and even at one point late in the broadcast, because the hockey was so bad, I ended up watching more basketball on the big TV and hockey got to the small TV. But Kevin Harlan on the broadcast last night pointed out, you know, in game 1, the Knicks had a bigger lead than they have right now, and the Pacers, of course, came back and won game 1. But going into the game, Karl Anthony Towns, was he going to play? Was he not? How limited? Dude scored 24 points, played almost 36 minutes last night. He was phenomenal. Jalen Brunson was phenomenal last night, and Tyrese Halliburton was awful. 8 points on 2 of 7 shooting.
Yeah, he was. It was bad. It really, honestly, they kind of almost reminded me of the Timberwolves the night before. It's like, we show up. If no big deal. If we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. That's just a very dangerous game to play. And they better go back and put their money where their mouth is tomorrow night in Indianapolis, or they're going to be in big trouble.
Well, and again, that was an awful playoff game for Halliburton. I expect him to bounce back. And that's all you could just. It was just a bad game.
It was a bad game.
I don't know any other way you can describe for Indiana. I don't know if it was like, we got, New York played like their season was on the line. Indiana played like they knew they had lives to live. And like you said, that is a dangerous game. To steal the line from Greg Popovich, the Pacers better have appropriate fear, because you saw what the Knicks look like when they know their season is on the line. And if the Knicks can do that in Indiana, good luck.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Rick Carlisle does now to adjust to what the Knicks did. And again, props to the Knicks, because they made some good adjustments and it paid off. But everybody was a little bit baffled, Jason, by what happened last night, and including our old buddy Greg Doyle. Remember him, Caitlin Clark's stalker? Well, he's Pascal Siakam's stalker now. Had a little exchange with Siakam after the game last night.
What do you mean? How is it possible not play hard enough? What are you talking about? They played harder than us. It's okay. We played hard, but they played harder. What's your point? I don't get it.
My point is, you're saying you guys got outfought, and I'm saying
that happens in the game, though. That's basketball. You're good. You're good, bro. You're looking for something. I know. But damn. No. But I'm telling you though. I told you. What else do you want me to tell you? Well, what about you tell me? So go ahead. Who's this guy? What's your name, bro? Oh.
The only thing that would have been better if Siakam would have said, "Oh, you're the dude that was harassing Caitlin Clark."
And it's a weird exchange. And then, of course, it happens to be that guy. I understand where Greg Doyle was going with his line of questioning. How does that happen in the postseason? How do you come up and be ready for this game, knowing that you could win and clinch a spot in the finals, and say the other team played harder? I get where he was going, but his reputation has gotten to the point where as soon as you hear it was Greg Doyle, you almost wonder. And he is a long time, I would say, well-respected journalist, but for a long time he had that kind of, he's Greg Doyle. He's a well-respected columnist. Go to any big city and think about who their top columnist is, and generally well-respected. But after the Caitlin Clark, and he's gone back and forth with other people, but now every time he does it, it just comes across as creepy.
Well, it does come across. Yeah, exactly. It is creepy. But look, and I do give him some credit for he just wanted an answer. But look, Siakam, to his defense, how do you explain that? I mean, it is difficult to explain. I think it's human nature. You've got a 3-1 lead. You're going back to New York. They were fired up, played the best game I think they played in the entire playoffs, to be honest with you. They were clicking on all cylinders. It happens. What's going to be the telltale sign is what happens in Game 6, because you got to believe Indiana's arena is going to be rocking, and those guys are going to be fired up and ready to go. Or they better be. Put it that way.
Well, I mean, Pat McAfee will do his part to get there. It's interesting. McAfee did not go to the game last night. He was invited by Ben Stiller. Said, dude, I'm not spending $70,000 a ticket. Now, I don't know if that's what those were going for.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I wouldn't be surprised if McAfee doesn't throw that number out there, I suppose, if it's not there. And that's just for the ticket. That's not including McAfee's private plane ride out there and then, the ride home. That certainly would be a lot. but $70,000 a ticket. And again, if you paid that, you watched the Knicks play one of their best playoff games in a long time. One of their most famous fans is Spike Lee, as we all know. And he sat down with the dudes from inside the NBA, and Spike wants a trophy so bad, but Barkley was like, dude, it ain't happening.
If this is as far as it goes, Spike, do you walk away feeling good about your team?
Answer.
Yeah.
I would give up Academy Award, Oscar, for the Knicks to win a championship. I got 2 already, but I will give up.
You're gonna keep them. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I should have
You don't have to say anything.
Use your internal voice.
Inner voice.
There's no filter on this guy. You've known him long enough. If he thinks that it's coming out his mouth.
Yeah. Inside voice.
Inside
Did
voice.
I say that out loud?
Yeah, that's
You ain't
hilarious.
getting one.
Well, I tell you, Charles Barkley was on a roll last night. I mean, the guy was simply on a roll last night because they had Karl Anthony Towns. They were interviewing him after the game, and Chuck was basically getting on to him about stupid fouls.
Well, I got to say something now. I got to criticize you. Yeah, man, why do you be getting them dumb fouls?
I was going to ask the same question.
Why do you do that?
God only knows.
I mean, because, when you got your 4th foul, they took you out. They made a run.
Yeah.
You got to stop doing that.
I got to do a much better job.
Yes.
I got to do a much better
job. You can get fouls, but a couple, like the other day when you just grab somebody by the wrist.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Or you talking about last game or this game?
Last game.
Every game. Oh, you talking about the one with the pick and roll?
Every game. You just grab his arm.
Yeah.
But you can't be getting no
Nah,
fouls.
I can't. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. I hurt our team.
Uh-huh.
He does. That's hilarious, though. And only Barkley can get away with that.
Yeah, and again, you're only getting away with that after they win and he has a hell of a game. But, it's true. And the fact that Cat was like, was it this game or last game? Because there's so many of them, and you wonder sometimes that dude. It's like, man.
It's like all of them. How about that? Yeah, because he does. A lot of times Cat will just put his head down like a fullback and just, dive inside and do some stupid fouls. So I love that. I tell you what, some great sound, including Greg Doyle, who's making a comeback, or trying to at least. I thought that guy, I guess he didn't lose his job.
No, he was suspended, if I remember correctly, and then barred from covering the Indiana Fever.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure Caitlin Clark is very happy about that, without a doubt. Hey, the Cowboys are wrapping up OTAs today, and all of the players are talking, and I love it because you got Tyler Guyton, you got Tyler Smith, Joe Milton is speaking as well. We're going to hear from all of them as we are broadcasting live. Comerica Backyard here at Globe Life Field. We'll be back. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we got our final set. We'll talk about it. And I'll discuss what a great drive I had from Vegas to San Antonio. Can't wait to talk about it. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATS.
Guys, starting TRT has never been easier. Other places charge hundreds of dollars just for the test, but visit any Synergenics or Low T center and get the consultation and test totally free. Treatment is personalized to you, and most major insurance is accepted. With the freedom to choose if you want in-center care or at-home treatment, you're in control of your health. Looking to lose weight? Get a free B12 shot when you start prescription treatment. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Have you ever closed your eyes and pictured owning a piece of the Texas coast? Ocean views, world-class fishing off of Matagorda Bay? Well, dream no more. Saturday, June 7th, Driftwood Shores at Wolf Point is dropping the final release of these incredible coastal properties. We're talking 1 to 3 acre properties, all with ocean access for just $49.9. You heard correctly, $49.9. This gated community has a waterfront resort-style pool and cabana, your own boat slip and launch, even boat and RV storage, plus paved roads and underground utilities. It's the whole shebang. It's all happening Saturday, June 7th. 1 to 3 acres with ocean access, just $49.9. Yes, just $49.9. Call now for your private tour at 210-853-0389. Excellent financing. Don't wait another minute. Call 832-662-0389. Texas coastal land has never been this affordable.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Claire. She loves her motorcycle, and she's learned to love the insects she encounters on her rides. She may not know the difference between a gnat and a mosquito at 55 miles per hour, but she does know one thing. It's always gross when one flies into her mouth. But she's so used to it that it's weird when it doesn't happen. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back with comprehensive and collision coverage from America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in DC.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So we had a huge new business pitch.
Attention, all hands on deck.
When, boom, our only printer was fried.
Up in smoke. Like your chances of landing that account.
Well, I just sent the file to Staples. Devin, the print associate, was on it. She had it printed and bound same day.
So where's the drama?
There wasn't any. Staples made it super easy.
Inconceivable. For the product, services, and experts you need, Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at Hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED. But Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/radio. That's Hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
So Jason Minix just showed me a picture of that Texas Rangers dog. What do they call that thing?
I think it's called the Boomstick.
The Boomstick.
Yes.
It looks fantastic, and I can't wait to have one of those because we're live here at Globe Life Field. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, and we're talking about it because, I mean, we're here, and we're in the what they call the Comerica backyard, which is in the outfield, cool area, and very different. Apparently, they redid this whole thing for the All-Star game, which makes sense. It's been a while since I've been up here. But where we are, I guess all the media does their stuff. So the local Dallas CBS station is here, and they've got the box. And I'm like, dude, how'd they get the hot dog already? I think it's just a box because nobody's eating that. And nobody has eaten that. It's been there for an hour.
Well, I mean, it's a huge box. So yes. I'm assuming you keep microphones in there, you keep cords in there, you keep all kinds of stuff.
I mean, they would make you pay for a checked bag on Southwest with a box like that at this point.
I don't think that fits in the overhead bin. I'm not sure, but it's big.
But I've had that, although there were 6 of us, and I don't think we finished all of it. I mean, chili, jalapenos, it's but damn good.
Dude, it looks fantastic. It does. And look, I know there's barbecue places here. I know there's other stuff. But we're at a ballpark, man. You got to have a dog.
Absolutely. Well, it's funny because at breakfast this morning, I got a kolache, and you got a kolache.
I did.
I kind of want another one, but it's like, getting a hot dog later.
Exactly. Exactly right. And I don't care, man. I can eat hot dogs.
You have to.
Anytime.
You have to.
Anytime.
Real quick, for our older audience, some sad news today.
Yes.
Hot Lips Houlihan.
Yes.
Passed away at the age of 87. Of course, she starred in MASH. And as soon as I said Hot Lips Houlihan, Ryan Eagle, who doesn't remember anybody's name, was like, Loretta Swit died?
Yeah.
Like, you knew her name.
I knew her name. Of course I knew her name. I mean, she was a big star back in when was MASH? The late 70s, early 80s, something like that. I mean, she was, she'd go on the Ed Sullivan Show and all.
The what?
All of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, yeah, she was a big star back then. So that's sad news, but she's 87. I mean, she lived a good life.
She had a good run.
She had a good life.
But
and
I mean, I learned today her real name is Loretta Swit.
Loretta Swit.
And the fact that just rolled right off your tongue.
Absolutely.
I mean, did you have a poster of Hot Lips Houlihan next to Farrah Fawcett?
I don't know how she got. Yeah, I think that was a joke, right? Hot Lips, because the guys in MASH, I can't remember their names. Hawkeye.
Yeah, you can't remember their names, but you remember hers.
Dude, the Hawkeye, he was like the
Klinger, right?
Klinger was another one dressed like a woman. That he was the original cross dresser, right? Klinger. So yeah, but it was sad. So she wasn't that attractive. So I think they were just, joking with her. And she was always kind of their nemesis. So, but sad to see that Hot Lips is gone.
Mm-hmm. Was that 87?
87.
Had a good run.
She had a good run.
The Cowboys trying to put together a good run, getting ready for the season. OTAs going on up here. And this is really the time of year where you do hear from Joe Milton, because once the season starts, if you're hearing from him, things have gone really, really bad.
Yes.
But he said some interesting things in talking to the media, because nobody really knows this guy. He was a rookie year last year with the Patriots, ends up in Dallas this year. And it's interesting when you hear him talk about just his overall athletic ability and, difference between year 2 as opposed to being a rookie.
I feel like I can learn something. And when I say that, Dak, he played more football than I have, and he's been in the NFL longer. So I feel like I can learn something from the aspect of, like, just quarterback overall, because he's seen a lot. He's been through a lot. So just being able to figure out the whole quarterback position as a whole.
Yeah, developmental Dak is going to teach him what to do. But you got to figure Joe Milton in with New England last year, and there were 2 rookies. So he didn't have that veteran guy to help him out. Now he does. And seeing Dak and the way he operates, he's gonna take him under his wing.
Well, and not only Dak, but don't forget Will Greer is in the room.
Yep.
And Milton talked about it. I mean, he got 3 different styles of quarterback in the Cowboys quarterback room.
Yeah, it's great, man. Us 3 have 3 different games. And Dak brings the most experience to the room, and Will's, he's been around football, throughout his whole life. So, and then you got me, where I didn't grow up with a quarterback coach. I just happen to be so athletic, and I bring extra tools I done learned along the way, and I'm able to do certain things. So, like, putting it all together, we just shape one great Paul's quarterback. You know what I mean? So this is great. We feed off each other. They help me out a lot, man. Shout out to those 2, man. Like, respect for sure. Just like, no matter what it is, like, they're willing to help regardless.
Yeah, I think that guy's excited to be a Cowboy. I don't think there's any question about that. And he's got so much talent. It's just so raw.
Well, that's it.
And that's what he's got to, get. And I think having a guy like Prescott and even Will Greer, they're going to teach him a lot of the things that he didn't get a chance to learn last year.
Now, again, this could end up, although it's not like the Cowboys gave up a lot, not like, I don't know, the dude from San Francisco who was raw talent that had all the skill that San Francisco took high in the draft, right? And the Cowboys made it. I just look at hearing Joe Milton say that. He didn't have a quarterback coach growing up.
Yeah.
Which in today's day and age, that is surprising. Because all these guys have their different quarterback coaches and they go to all these different camps, but his just raw athletic ability got him to Tennessee. Every UTSA fan remember the opening drive, and that dude ran for, 83 yards.
Yes,
That's what I think about when I think of Joe Milton, right? And you get drafted a year in New England, and now he's there. And could he be? And I'm just, and this has got to factor into the Cowboys thinking. He's got 3 years left. Dak's got, you almost wonder if he can develop into, could he be the quarterback of the future for the Dallas Cowboys? That guy that we've all screamed the last several years, why don't the Cowboys take a quarterback and plan for life after Dak Prescott? This might be it.
Well, it could be. It could be. There's no questioning his talent. The guy's got talent. It's just molding that talent into an NFL quarterback. And so I think he's in the right spot. I think it's a perfect fit for him just because of the veteran guys that are there to help him learn. Who knows? And the good news is for that, Jason, is the fact that they've got a couple of years to find that out. I mean, the Cowboys can be patient. They know they've got their quarterback in Prescott. He's not going anywhere, obviously, not anytime soon. So you've got some time to let Milton develop and see what you got there.
Well, and again, I he's more than just, your fifth-round guy that's a camp arm or sixth-round guy or, with that, with just hearing him talk about, dude, my athletic ability got me here. Now I have to learn how to be a quarterback.
That's it.
And to not have a quarterback coach, maybe he does turn into something, and he's more than just, say, another Will Greer. Good enough to get here, career backup, and that, that can be a good life for a lot of those guys. But at the same time, maybe there is something more there, and that factored into why the Cowboys targeted him specifically and just trying to bring in another arm, because the future – and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It didn't cost you much.
Exactly. Didn't cost you anything at all. And again, the Cowboys can be patient with this guy. So it was a good move, I think, to bring him in. Now, I hope he doesn't see the field at all. No offense to Joe Milton, but he is raw. And he's going to make a lot of mistakes if he is forced into action. So we'll see what happens with Joe Milton. What I liked, we heard from Tyler Guyton yesterday, Jason, and I will say this. He was very forthcoming, if you will, about the way he played last year. And I think preparing for his second year now, I think he knows that, and he knows he's got to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I figured out a lot about, what I need to do to take care of my body to be able to play at a high level. And, also just following, the guys that have came before me, understanding that their routine is very important. I feel like I learned a lot.
And again, he knows he didn't play as well as he should. He knows what he has to get better because, look, we can talk about an improved running game, which isn't going to take much after what we saw last year. Dak with another weapon in George Pickens. If the offensive line isn't better, then all those weapons aren't going to matter. And Tyler Smith understands any success with this team starts with a solid offensive line.
It's extremely important that, we all rise to the occasion. As everybody can see, this is an extremely competitive division with great offensive and defensive lines. And, we understand the importance of that. And, we understand that when we come into work, when we come into train, lift, all that stuff. And so I think it's going to be paramount. And I think it's going to start and end with us ultimately, when it comes to the success of this football team.
I don't think there's any question about that. Look, you could have, and I'm not saying you will have, but you could have a Prescott who's not very mobile. He's going to need some time because you could have all the great wide receivers you want, but you got to have a little time to get those guys down the field and run their routes. I think that to me, that says it all. It starts and ends with that offensive line when it comes to that Cowboys. And I guess you could say that about every team, but this one in particular, you got to give Dak Prescott some time. He needs some time, and if they can do that, he'll have his choice, and he'll be able to pick defenses apart.
And that is true, but let's not forget, I mean, the Cowboys have had some really explosive offensive teams, scored a whole lot of points only to have the defense let them down. And one of the things that Oso Odigizua said yesterday about new defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus was just the way they are getting coached up. Some of the things that Eberflus is having them do, and it really does kind of slam last year's defensive coaching staff.
I think just based on some of the things that we're being asked to do right now, like I was going back and just watching some of the tape from last year. I'm like, if I was doing the stuff that we're being coached to do now, like I'm making this play, I'm making that play. So just seeing that there's going to be a lot more opportunities based on the stuff that he's having us do.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. A lot more opportunities.
Well, but again, I'm watching the tape last year and plays that they missed. If we were doing this last year, I would have made those plays. That is birds up to Zimmer. Is it not? Doesn't it feel that way?
Absolutely.
I mean, the stuff they're being coached to do now, I'm making that play. Wow, what an indictment on how bad things were. And again, we're talking about NFL players. Do they not see it themselves? I understand you're doing what the coach wants you to do. And is it combinations? Is it certain reads where guys are lined up? The little technique things. But to say, yeah, man, the stuff we're doing now, I'm looking at tape saying, man, if we were doing this year, things would be different, is just a couple of middle fingers to what they were doing last year defensively. And you wonder the positive impact, just Eberflus and what he is seeing with these guys, the impact that will have.
Well, I mean, look, let's just chalk last year up as to a lost season, right? They didn't add anybody. They got rid of a bunch of people. You bring in Mike Zimmer, who the game's kind of passed him by. I think we saw that, right? So now you've got Eberflus in there, who was a much better defensive coordinator than he was a head football coach. And I think the guys like him. Look, I think the one thing that you look at any football team, if the players are buying in what you're selling, if they're buying that, that's half the battle. And it appears right now that that's exactly what's happening with the Cowboys on both sides of the football. And so, so far so good. Again, we're just about to turn the calendar on June, but long way to go. And it will happen in September. We'll see what happens. But right now, Cowboys are winning.
Well, and again, it's May. Will they be winning in September? Will they be winning in October? But you just talk about the differences in what you're seeing from or hearing from the players this time of year, what we expect. Schottenheimer comes in, not a lot of excitement initially, but that is changing. Ed Werder, who has covered the Cowboys for 1,000 years, tweeted out, "The thing I noticed observing players on field in OTAs for the first time yesterday under Schottenheimer was the intensity, the hustle, and the finish on every play, both sides of the ball. There's an undeniable emphasis on competition that comes from his experience under Pete Carroll." Now, that's Ed Werder, and Ed Werder calls it how he sees it. So when you hear players talking about stuff, sometimes you might be like, well, a little bit of lip service. You got a new boss, but all the players, they all say essentially the same thing with the excitement level. Even Tyler Smith talking about the differences between what McCarthy had versus what Shoddy is doing.
I mean, I think the energy of the building is really just something that I've really noticed. Like, guys are just, generally coming in excited to compete. Like, there's competition everywhere. I mean, we got a full room. There are a lot of full rooms across the board of guys who are playing at an extremely elite level. And so I think that's ultimately going to push us to just be better for each other, better with one another. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love everything they're saying. I feel bad for Mike McCarthy because he was basically a dead man walking last year.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought he did a pretty good job. To get that team to 7 wins, I thought was a masterful coaching job. And he never lost that locker room, at least not publicly. I thought he did a pretty good job, but it was time for him to go.
It was. Yes, but also were guys just coming in, going to work. That whole lunch pail factory, punch in, do your job, and punch out and go home, where guys seem to really enjoy the competitions and the fun, the energy. Tyler Guyton, he said, Shotty, it's fresh and it's new.
Oh, he's doing amazing, bro. It really does feel like a whole new team. The things that we do, the competitions that we have. Like, we played basketball this morning in our team meeting, and I have the high score right now. I'm letting everybody know. But just the way he's doing things, it's fresh, it's new. He's a really good head coach, and I'm absolutely so grateful that he's our leader.
Yeah, you got to love that. Again, doing everything right in May. And so, again, a lot of journey, a lot of road to travel before we get there, but he's doing everything right now, and that's all you can ask as a Cowboy fan. He's doing everything right. The players are buying in, and there's an excitement around the star that I don't, quite frankly, wasn't there last year.
No, and you wonder, quite honestly, the last couple of years under Mike McCarthy, and this is a dig at the dude, I don't know how much fun the guys were having. It was so businesslike. And again, different styles. Bill Parcells, it was very businesslike. Dave Campo, not necessarily. Jason Garrett had a little bit of a mix. What you're seeing from Schottenheimer and stealing the line straight from Ed Werder feels a lot like what you saw with the Seahawks when they were having their great years with Russ and Pete Carroll as the head coach. And, when it's time to work, we work our ass off. But when it's time to have fun, we're going to have fun. Work hard, play hard. That's the motto I try to live by. It's a pretty good one, but it kind of feels like that's what Pete Carroll has done. And Schottenheimer seems to be stealing that playbook and applying that to the Dallas Cowboys.
You know what's interesting about that was Shotty being there and saw what was going on last year. And you kind of get that in your mind. And maybe that was a huge selling point to Jerry when he interviewed for this job. And maybe that's a big reason why he got it. He said, look, I want to turn this thing completely around. I want to do it this way. And I think it'll work. So far, it's working.
It is. And while we're working at Globe Life Field in Arlington, we're going to a baseball game tonight. You can go to a baseball game on Tuesday. We got a family 4-pack of tickets to go watch the Missions take on Midland on Tuesday night out at Wolf Stadium.
Well, that ought to be great. So 656-3776, 656-ESPN.
Caller 9.
Okay.
Don't overcomplicate things.
I was trying to think of something clever, but couldn't do it. Caller number 9. You will get those tickets to go see the San Antonio Missions play ball. Tonight, the Texas Rangers are playing ball here at Globe Life Field. They're taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. It is Texas Tech night here at Globe Life Field, so that's going to make it even more red, Jason, in here tonight. No question about that. Found something out, though, that intrigues me. Did you know that passing gas is actually good for your health?
Mm-hmm.
You knew that?
Of course.
Certainly makes you feel better, that's for sure. Well, I'll tell you why.
Makes you laugh.
We'll tell you why. It always does, man. Farts are funny. All right, they just are. They're funny. We continue here on the Blitz from Globe Life Field, Comerica's backyard. We'll continue here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding 281 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years.
And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this. The insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-298-2007. That's 800-298-2007. 800-298-2007.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
UTSA Roadrunners in action tonight in the NCAA regional portion of that tournament in Austin tonight. Runners are the second seed. They'll take on Kansas State. First pitch is set for 6 o'clock. Number 1 seed Texas is playing as we speak, taking on Houston Christian this afternoon. Right now, the Horns leading that one 5-1. That ball game is in the bottom of the 5th.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Not only is it the Blitz is live in Arlington, Texas. Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers, and we are broadcasting from the Comerica backyard here at Globe Life Field. It is a great place to be right now. Texas Tech night as the Rangers get set to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Joe Reinagel, Jason Minnick sitting here as well, and I tell you what, this is a great place to do this little radio show.
Yeah, it's a field trip on Friday. If you're watching on YouTube, it's the field behind us, not a green screen, although it kind of looks like one of those fake pictures. And, you know, it's cool when you get to a ballpark. And I love this on Friday nights during high school football season when you get there and nobody's there. And, and even like when we got here at noon, when we got here at noon, it was kind of busy because there was some tryouts as they're getting ready for the draft.
Pre-draft workouts.
Yeah, pre-draft workout. And we're no photos, no video.
Yeah, can't do that.
But it is kind of cool when the calm before the storm, because now you're starting to see all the stadium workers that are showing up. The lady over there at the bar, the most important person here, she's getting all the drinks ready and the beers that are in those ice boxes. She's just getting everything ready. She's about to have a busy night, but it's just kind of fun to see how it all comes to life. And then, it's a sold out game. It is Texas Tech night, though. And I know it's not always all football, but it's always all football.
Always.
It's the Texas Tech basketball coach throwing out the first pitch tonight not the football coach.
Interesting. Well, that's all right. Maybe Joey McGuire was he was busy tonight.
Friday. I ain't got to be in Dallas. I'm not going to Dallas.
Yeah, he's not here, but it should be interesting. I've already seen a bunch of Texas Tech types walking around here, so interesting stuff. But it should be a lot of fun. It should be crazy in here tonight, no doubt about it. Whether you're a Cardinal fan or Ranger fan, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's do the headline blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
You know, when you stack a show, and that's business lingo, you want to make sure the flow is proper.
Sure.
Right now, we've got farting and we've got Paige in this. I don't know where to start because I don't want to. I think we start with farting.
You want to do that and then
so.
Clean it up with Paige?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about? It'll stink and then it'll smell good.
The transition from Paige to farting is just bad.
Well, and who knew? I didn't know this, but I'm reading an article here, and it says farting.
Scrolling Instagram.
Farting actually helps reduce high blood pressure, and it's good for your health.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna show that to my wife, because she likes to make fun of me. You know, I mean,
she makes fun of you.
I'm an old guy, right? So I get up in the morning, I start walking the kitchen, you hear a little going along, you know what I mean? And she goes, "What? You step on a duck?" And so, after the embarrassment,
she farts too.
Well,
just not in front of you.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I'm just saying sometimes, things happen and then they slip out.
I can tell you is I will celebrate my 30th anniversary in July. And when we were first dating, I kept getting up and going to another room. And Joanna's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, I honestly, I got really bad gas. She's like, It's good for you. It's healthy. I'm a nurse. It's okay.
Yeah.
And she regrets that.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't hold that in. I mean, you shouldn't hold it in.
Well, no, it's
not good for you.
It's not good for you. In fact, it's encouraged actually for your overall health.
Well, I don't know if you're watching on well, it's my Instagram page here. I'm making sure there's something on here.
Yeah, careful. But just share that on your Instagram story at Joe Reinagle 2.
Yeah, I'll do that
because then your wife, I know, will see that. And she will give you a lot of crap for that.
Well, absolutely. So now that I know it reduces high blood pressure, I'm going to do more of it. So and just say it's healthy. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that story.
Pleasantly surprised. I didn't know it was that good for you. Well, I mean, this is straight from a medical post.
Yeah. So,
while
fellas,
it might sound funny, this bodily function plays a key role in maintaining a healthy digestive system, and it reduces bloating. So next time nature calls, remember, it's your body doing its thing. Let it rip.
Well, I'm surprised, and knowing that, you walk around, I don't know, a place like Globe Life Field and people that are having chili on their hot dog or whatever and not just letting it go.
Well, I mean, but if they're just walking by, see, that's the problem. Is while it might be good for you, it's in natural gas, but nothing worse than somebody walks by and lets one rip and then just keeps walking. There's terms for that, right? You can't do that.
It's a drive-by, right?
A drive-by, crop dusting, whatever you want to call it.
Well, the thing is, though, I'd rather it be audible. There's nothing worse than a silent and you walk into it and it's like, oh my gosh, that's at least if it's audible, you can kind of go around maybe or do something else. But man, silent is deadly.
But again, though, somebody farts, you laugh, they're a little embarrassed, you look at them funny. They're just being healthy.
They're being healthy and their blood pressure just went down. Congratulations.
So when your blood pressure is going up, you let one rip.
Absolutely.
And then you feel better?
Yeah.
Because you're laughing.
Well, the next time I go to the doctor, I'm going to keep that in mind. They do the blood pressure. I'm going to make sure as soon as I go into the office there, I'll just let a few rip and
let it.
Blood pressure will be good.
If you could only control it that way.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know many people that can fart on command.
No.
And if you're trying to, you better be careful.
And at my age, You never trust one. Let me tell you that. That's for sure.
Yet you wear white shorts.
I know. I'm taking
risky.
a chance today. That's
Daredevil.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, we interviewed her, Radio Row, and
Good friend.
Super. Yeah,
it's our bestie.
Paige Spiranac. Is that how we're saying her name?
He also knows there's a ticklish little pitch coming up.
See,
well, I don't know if she's ticklish or not, but but she's very nice and obviously very attractive. Well, she says she's changing some business things. She's going to change the way she does business, do a little more PR kind of stuff. Not that the PR stuff she's doing now is really good, but the next stage of her career, if you will.
She's got a job because she knows what she's doing now she can't do forever. There's a new league out there called the Grass League, a high-stakes par 3 golf tour. Quite honestly, it sounds a lot like the TGL that Tiger and Rory put together because Paige is going to do PR for it, but she's also going to play. It's co-ed.
Apparently, she is still a very good golfer. At least that's what she tells us. And
you watch her videos?
Well, is she playing golf in those videos? I hadn't noticed.
As she told us, if you actually watch the videos with the sound on, you will learn something.
No, nobody wants to do that. Nobody's got time for that. She's going to be focusing on brand development, fan engagement, marketing, content strategy, and seeking out new talent. But she also reassures all of us that it's not going to take away from anything that she's currently doing.
Correct.
That is good news, and I'm happy to hear that. Paige, carry on, young lady. Do your thing.
Now, I know you're not a fan of Liv. I don't know how much you watch the TGL.
I did a little bit of that.
But if Paige is playing in the Grass League, you watching?
I think you have to. And, if you watch some of what Paige is doing on Instagram, then all of a sudden that what do you call the
algorithm?
Algorithm.
Yes.
Yeah. Then you'll see that there's a lot of pages out there. Some of them you'll give a second look to, some of them not.
It's all about golf instructions.
Well, sure it is. Golf skirts are very nice. They really are. I'm just saying.
Such a creep.
Whoever invented that is a genius. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now. But there are a lot of those. And so there may be, you could turn that into something. Think about it. Think about it, Minix. We could come up with a league with nothing but women in short golf skirts. I guarantee you it would be popular.
I think they have that.
They do?
It's called the LPGA.
Well, I'm talking about a par 3, something indoors. It could be, Hooters could sponsor it.
So,
I'm just saying, I think it's genius, and we'd make a lot of money.
There's a reason female beach volleyball is popular.
Yeah.
It's about the uniforms.
I would say, sure. Oh, Nelly. Well, thank you, Paige, for giving us an update on your career. We do appreciate that. There's no question about that. And look, I hate to bring the room down, but there's a bad story out. Now, there are allegations at this point in time, but a big NBA star, a guy that had a lot of promise, being accused of something very bad. We'll talk about that. And we'll continue here having some fun at Comerica Backyard at Globe Life Field here in Arlington. Texas Tech Night for the Texas Rangers. We are the Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle.
I went through it, and they told me no one time. They would never tell me no. They will. Trust me.
Are you crazy? You think I'm an unfit cat parent?
You just had one die on you.
You son of a bitch.
Of the 2 cats you've had,
How
one of them's
dare
dead.
you?
You're batting 500.
How dare you?
I'm just saying.
You want to bring up the time that a coyote ran off with your puppy?
That's been years ago.
But did it happen?
That was a puppy. I didn't say puppy. I'm just talking cat right here.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Most of us go to the doctor when we're sick or need prescriptions refilled. But at the Institute for Functional Health, we offer a different and complete version of primary care. This means you will get the medications you need, but we will also put together a custom game plan to fix the root cause and allow your body to heal itself. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we help people get off of medications. Call me for a free consultation, 468-1891, or online at iffhealth.com. You will experience a doctor's visit unlike any you've ever had. 468-1891.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at HEB and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolfpack.
You guys are just some funny fools, man. You can't drink all day if you don't start first thing in the morning. Good job, right. Sound like y'all are drinking like it's happy hour. It's almost 9 o'clock in the morning. It's ironic, and Daryl, if you have a weakness for the sauce. It sounds like Uncle Tito showed up a little early there.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Claire. She loves her motorcycle, and she's learned to love the insects she encounters on her rides. She may not know the difference between a gnat and a mosquito at 55 miles per hour, but she does know one thing. It's always gross when one flies into her mouth. But she's so used to it that it's weird when it doesn't happen. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back with comprehensive and collision coverage from America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
we can be twinsies
to
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
The DQ Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Baskets have more flavor than your taste buds know what to do with. We start with all white meat, breaded, seasoned, and fried to crunchy perfection. Next, we double down and toss them in honey barbecue or new buffalo sauce. Serve them up with DQ fries, Texas toast, and house-made Hidden Valley Ranch, and you've got flavor on flavor on flavor. Get the Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket in honey barbecue or new buffalo right now at DQ. Happy tastes good. Participation may
This month, law enforcement will be cracking down on drivers and passengers who aren't buckled up. Here's why.
I responded to a crash on the highway where a pickup flipped over multiple lanes of traffic. The driver of the vehicle was missing, and we actually found him underneath the vehicle, unfortunately deceased on scene.
We write seatbelt tickets to save lives.
Out of all the wrecks that I've worked, I've never had to unbuckle a dead body.
Officers are out in force, writing seatbelt citations that can add up to $200. Click it or ticket. This message brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
You know, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Celebrate youth sports with the San Antonio Brahmas. The Herd returns to the Alamodome Sunday, June 1st to take on the Arlington Renegades in their final home game of the season. Celebrate the future of sports as they highlight young athletes, players, and coaches in their Celebrate Youth Sports game. Bring the family and enjoy the fun with local community mascots, a halftime youth flag football showcase, and of course, Brahmas football. Get your tickets at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com. Our town, our team, our Herd.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We are also home of the Texas Rangers, and we are at the home of the Texas Rangers, Globe Life Field here in Arlington, broadcasting the Blitz live from Comerica's backyard, which is a really cool place. I'm Joe Reinagle. That's Jason Minix.
Yeah, a lot of baseball feel. Obviously, it's a field trip Friday. We're hanging out here. UTSA, they play tonight in Austin. Smithson Valley right now, after 4, they lead Barbers Hill 2-1. And if they win, they will sweep the series and go to the state tournament next weekend. They won yesterday, so, they got 2 chances to win today, but they're up in the first game. And some Texas A&M breaking baseball news. The Aggies are going to keep their baseball coach.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, Trev Alberts just released a statement saying, quote, "Earlier today, I met with Coach Early to discuss the state of our baseball program. I appreciate Mike's work in taking a holistic view of what changes need to be made so that we have a baseball program that meets our high standards." He's going to keep his job. That's how bad it was this year for Texas A&M.
Yeah.
That after 1 year, you were wondering if that guy was going to be able to stick around. But they are going to keep their baseball coach.
Well, I tell you what, if he has another season like that, he won't be around this time next year. That's absolutely for sure. Strange story, kind of bizarre and disturbing, quite frankly. But it is just an allegation. There's a woman that has accused New Orleans Pelicans star Zion Williamson of rape. In addition to sexual, physical, emotional, and financial abuse. They were together for 5 years, apparently, and this woman has filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles, by the way. But she's not her name, Jane Doe.
Yeah.
It's not that. And Zion has come out, and his attorneys have come out right away and denied the allegations here. But I tell you what, for Zion Williamson, obviously it's not something anybody needs, but this guy, boy, I tell you, I don't know what to call it. Not a bad luck, or if he's done this, if this is true, if these allegations are true, he's a dirtbag.
The scary and sad part is he had other issues before with different girlfriends and multiple girlfriends, and then to get slapped with a lawsuit like that. And again, we don't know if it's true or not. I think about an attorney in Houston that seems to sue all kinds of people. And who knows? But that's, it gets out there, and whether he's guilty or not, now you will always wonder how much truth there is to that story, whether it's proven or not. I don't know.
Well, and we'll see. Again, Zion's attorneys have come out with a statement, and they say we unequivocally deny the charges, and they're going to take it with the utmost seriousness. So we'll continue to follow that story. But Zion Williamson, things just, seem to go from bad to worse with this guy. And, he can't stay on the floor, and now you got this kind of stuff going on. And things are pretty negative in New Orleans when it comes to Zion Williamson. In San Antonio, though?
No, negative is a key word there.
Yeah.
Especially since we're up here in the Metroplex. A lot of Dallas media around. They could probably vouch for this. The Dallas Mavericks have the most negative fan base in the NBA, according to Vegas Insider. San Antonio is last on this list, the least negative fan base in the NBA.
Now, does that surprise you at all?
A little bit.
Really?
I mean, not the Dallas part, but I don't know how they're judging a negative fan base, because the last several years, now granted, Wemby certainly has changed a lot, but there wasn't a lot to be positive about. So, I guess when you're not going to the playoffs and you're going to suck, there's no reason to be negative and disappointed, right? I mean, if your general manager trades away your superstar, there's a good reason to be negative. I mean, neither one of these surprised me, the bookends of the negative fan base rankings.
Well, the Spurs thing doesn't, the least negative, because it's just what Spurs fans do. They fall in love with every player that comes in here, and, nobody can do any wrong. And that's true. And I say that, and no disrespect meant to anybody, but that's what happens with Spurs fans. They love this team, and they love anybody that puts on a Spurs jersey. So it doesn't surprise me. You keep looking at this list, though, Jason. Boston Celtics are number 2.
Yep.
And the Washington Wizards are number, 29. Washington hasn't done anything. So do people just not give a damn or not expect anything?
I mean, when you look at Toronto, Utah, Portland, Washington, San Antonio, those are teams that have all been bad. And so I think you're seeing a lot of fan apathy. The Denver Nuggets at 24, the lowest ranked, I guess is how I would phrase that. Good team. But, you look up Minnesota, a negative fan base, Memphis, negative, Philadelphia, New York, you would expect that. Houston is at number 9. Pledge, you're a Rockets fan. Does that seem about where you expect them to be?
Yeah, there's expectations now.
I mean, is that kind of, there's no explanation on, it's percentage of negative comments on social media.
Okay. All right.
And so I could see, I mean, look, Dallas right now, even with winning the lottery, and they are going to draft Cooper Flagg, the fan base, that makes things a little bit better. But you don't get over trading away Luka until you win a title. And even then, I don't know that Nico Harrison is able to win back the trust in the fan base. Now, Cooper Flagg, excitement. Saw an interview that their CEO did in talking about their new arena and all this stuff. They've sold a whole bunch of tickets. All the people that canceled, we're getting Cooper Flagg. All right, let's get those back.
Yeah, fans have short memories sometimes when, management does something wrong, but then luck falls on your side and you get a Cooper Flagg. That's going to add a lot of excitement there. And they've got a good young team. And I think with Flagg coming in, you got to give him a little bit of a honeymoon period, but I think he's going to be really good. Where's Minnesota on that list?
Number 3.
Number 3. So they're negative, and I can understand that. Ant's caught a lot of negativity here over the last couple of days or so. Well, Sam Amick, who is an NBA reporter, nice guy, says the Timberwolves are looking to trade for an alpha, and they're expected to pursue Kevin Durant.
I think a lot of teams, including the San Antonio Spurs, are going to look at Kevin Durant. And when you think about the NBA offseason leading up to the June 25th draft, Giannis, that's the big domino that's going to fall. Then it's Kevin Durant. Because all the teams that are supposedly working to get Giannis, most of them anyway, are probably also interested in Kevin Durant. And I know some of you out there have a negative opinion of Kevin Durant at this stage in his career.
Why are you looking at me?
I am looking directly at you. But I know there's people out there that agree with you. And personally, I'm not a big Kevin Durant fan, but I am a Kevin Durant basketball player fan. And I think he would do wonders in Minnesota, just like I think he would do wonders in San Antonio. And watching what he has done the last several years is he's adapted his role. He fit in with Golden State, and he knew there was a pecking order with Steph and Clay that was already there, and Draymond to a degree. And then while it didn't work in Phoenix, the fact that he came in, Devin Booker was the lead dog there, and Kevin Durant was fine with that and figured out his role. It didn't work in Phoenix for whatever reason, because when he got there, everybody thought he was the missing piece to get them back in to the NBA Finals. Remember, they were in there a couple years ago to win it, and they had risen to the top, and now they're back in shambles. But it didn't work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But his game and what he offers is what a team like San Antonio needs. It's what a team like Minnesota needs. I think he's going to be in high demand this offseason.
I can see that, Minnesota. Look, I don't want him here, and I've made that clear. Can you imagine Mitch Johnson trying to have to deal with Kevin Durant? I mean, Mike Budenholzer couldn't do it. He got Budenholzer fired. I just think he, at this point in his career, maybe he adjusts his game, but he's still a diva. He still is going to want to call the shots. And I just can't imagine a rookie head coach like Mitch Johnson having to deal with a guy like Kevin Durant. Awesome talent, but he's also fought the injury bug here lately, and I just don't think for that amount of money and what it's going to cost you to get Kevin Durant in San Antonio or anywhere for that matter, to me it's just not worth it. I feel the same way about a Giannis at this point in time. I think the Spurs have a foundation that they can build around and add pieces to instead of going out and trying to hit a home run with a Durant or a Giannis.
You know, and I don't even know that I would call Durant a home run at this point. You know, maybe a stand-up single, stand-up double, you know, but he is a piece to the overall puzzle that certainly fills a need. And the veteran leadership that he can bring to this group, I think would be invaluable. And he knows he's towards the end. And you just watch the way he acclimates himself to the Olympic team every year and knowing how to play with superstars. And, you know, and I don't know Mitch Johnson well enough. I don't know him at all to know, and none of us really do, how he would handle a personality like that. I know that he certainly has handled the mega personality that is a superstar in Wemby, and that is one of the reasons he was elevated to head coach, because his relationship with Wemby. Now, Wemby is still young, so maybe he hasn't developed that you can't mess with me kind of skin, but at the same time, you're dealing with a superstar who has his own team of coaches and health rehab, whatever you call it, his workout people, trainers, whatever. You've got to juggle all of that with Wemby, and he did that well enough to parlay this assistant job into a head coaching job for the San Antonio Spurs.
It's going to be an interesting offseason, and I think the next, I don't know, couple of weeks as we get closer to the draft, I think we're going to start hearing things and rumors are going to fire up, and that's when it's going to get exciting, and I think it is. And most of the talking heads that cover the NBA for a living are expecting a very exciting time between now and the draft, and I think it's going to be. And I think you're going to see a lot of movement, whether it's Giannis, whether he stays in Milwaukee, or whether it's Kevin Durant and he moves somewhere. It's going to be interesting to see. I could see a team like Minnesota, though, bringing in a Durant. On our YouTube page, you're right. There are others that don't really care for Kevin Durant. Sam Emmett called him an alpha. Antonio disagrees with that, and so does Colby Ryan.
Well, again, and I think at this point, he isn't the alpha, and can come in and play a role, which, quite frankly, is one of the reasons why I want him here, because, you know, he is going to get his fair shots, but he can distribute. I just think of how he played with Devin Booker, and then to add a De'Aaron Fox, a Wemby, Steph Castle, and to have that three-point sniper, I mean, can play defense, veteran leadership, and again, not a long-term solution, but he's short-term for now, and I like that option better than all the different trade, what it appears the cost of Giannis would be. Whew. Because let's face it, everybody should want Giannis, but at what price? You can't give up all those picks and all the players that so many of the different trade suggestions have been out there. If you want a bunch of players, cool, but you're not getting the picks. You can't have them both. To me, the cost for Giannis at his age is just far too high.
I haven't seen any mock trades for Kevin Durant, but I would assume, not as high as a Giannis, but I would assume it's not going to be cheap to pry him away from Phoenix, although it appears at this point in time he wants to do that. And Devin Booker maybe wants that to happen too, because he is the star of that show. There's no question about it. It's going to be interesting. It really is. And I can't wait to see it as we get into June tomorrow.
Yep.
And get closer to the NBA draft coming up on the 25th. It is going to be a blast. 49ers said something today, Jason, about their quarterback, Brock Purdy. They don't expect him to do anything extra just because he got paid.
Sure.
Well, I think that's sweet of them to say that about old Brock Purdy. Mm-hmm. How come Jerry Jones doesn't say the same thing about Dak Prescott?
Because you're getting all that money, you're going to have to do more with less.
Well, there you go. And we're talking about that and want your input as well as we continue here live from Globe Life Field, where the Texas Rangers are set to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. We're broadcasting from Comerica Backyard, which is really, really cool. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we got our final set. We'll talk about it.
And I'll discuss what a great drive I had from Vegas to San Antonio. Can't wait to talk about it. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Have you ever closed your eyes and pictured owning a piece of the Texas coast? Ocean views, world-class fishing off of Matagorda Bay? Well, dream no more. Saturday, June 7th, Driftwood Shores at Wolf Point is dropping the final release of these incredible coastal properties. We're talking 1 to 3 acre properties, all with ocean access for just $49.9. You heard correctly, $49.9. This gated community has a waterfront resort-style pool and cabana, your own boat slip and launch, even boat and RV storage, plus paved roads and underground utilities. It's the whole shebang. It's all happening Saturday, June 7th. 1 to 3 acres with ocean access, just $49.9. Yes, just $49.9. Call now for your private tour at 210-853-0389. Excellent financing. Don't wait another minute. Call 832-662-0389. Texas coastal land has never been this affordable.
During National Military Appreciation Month, we at University of Maryland Global Campus say thank you to the service members, veterans, and families who dedicate their lives to our country. We are deeply grateful. For over 75 years, UMGC has proudly served the military community, from installations overseas to the communities you call home. Wherever you serve, we stand with you. Learn more at umgc.edu/thanks. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocation, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
The DQ sauced and tossed chicken strip baskets have more flavor than your taste buds know what to do with. We start with all white meat, breaded, seasoned, and fried to crunchy perfection. Next, we double down and toss them in honey barbecue or new buffalo sauce. Serve them up with DQ fries, Texas toast, and house-made Hidden Valley Ranch, and you've got flavor on flavor on flavor. Get the sauced and tossed chicken strip basket in honey barbecue or new buffalo right now at DQ. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Let's talk about developmental Dak.
Here we go.
We could do that. We could do that as we continue live from Globe Life Field. The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. The reason I say that is because poor Brock Purdy, he got paid, not as much as developmental Dak, but he got paid. And, well, they came out and said, we're not expecting him to do more just because he got a new contract. I thought that was nice of him.
It is nice. It's BS. And look, for all you that like to pile on Dak, at Joe Reinagle 2-0, tweet at me at Jason Minix, the station at SA Sports Star. Comment on our YouTube page. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. I saw that. We were talking about this at Dark 30 at the airport.
Yep.
How nice for Brock Purdy to have their people say, dude, you got paid, but you just be you. Where Jerry Jones said, well, Dak, you got all the money, dude. You're going to have to do more with less.
And that's basically what he said. And that's what happened. We saw it play out last year. You had a lame duck head coach. You had no talent around CeeDee Lamb or Dak Prescott for that matter. No running game at all either. So, and I wonder when a head coach comes out and says that, like Shanahan did, and is that to take the pressure off of a guy like Brock Purdy? Just make him feel more relaxed? Because, it's human nature. If you get paid, somebody pays you a lot of money, the expectation is you have to do more.
Well, look, it's one thing when your coach says it versus when your owner says it. It's one thing if, I don't know, the Niners owner or their GM were to say something and Lynch wouldn't do that, right? But Jerry does, right? And Jerry will try to be honest with his fans as much as he can be, although it does put a ridiculous amount of pressure on Dak because words matter, and words matter more seemingly coming from the Dallas Cowboys. Just like Schottenheimer yesterday saying that Dak is in the developmental phase of the offseason, right? And everybody, they're talking about like this dude's a rookie and he's got to learn how to tie his left shoe before his right shoe. And here's how you snap the chin strap onto your helmet. Let's figure out shoulder pads. But those words matter.
They do.
And Jerry said Dak is going to have to do more with less, almost as a penalty to Dak. All right, dude, you got all this money, but here you go.
Well, and they keep reminding Dak of that too, and not to his face necessarily, but in press conferences, and they'll talk about their quarterback and how much money he's making. But again, when you look at Dak Prescott, and I don't know whether it's fair, whether it's not fair, however you want to couch it, it doesn't really matter. The guy plays well in the regular season most of the time, right? He's a good regular season quarterback, but the Cowboys haven't gotten it done in the playoffs. And whether it's fair or not, Dak is the face of this football team, and so he takes the brunt of that 2-5 playoff record.
Now, that's fair and 100% true. But there is an article today. 4 reasons Dak Prescott is better than you think in the playoffs. Even I called BS on this article.
Yes,
right?
You did. Yeah, I gave you credit. You did.
Although, when you look at in the first line, Dak Prescott has been one of the most polarizing players in the NFL when it comes to playoff performance. I don't think so. He sucks in the playoffs, right? I mean, diehard Cowboy fan, a fan of Dak Prescott. I call it how I see it. Dak has not been good in the playoffs, certainly as of late. So you look at that 2-5 record, and this article actually does a really good deep dive in all 7 of the playoff games. And let's go back. 2016 divisional round, Dak threw for 302 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. His rookie year, 18-point comeback late in the fourth quarter. Defense let him down. Defense lost the game. That's exactly what it says. Wild card game against Seattle, his first playoff win. Numbers were good. Solid performance. Team win. They're not even saying Dak's, team win, because everything was good. 137 yards rushing from Zeke in that game. Then they lose to the Rams. And Dak, numbers, okay, 266, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Dak played well. Defense failed the team. And you look at the numbers, like 273 rushing yards for the Rams, dominated time of possession. That's all right. That's fair. 2021 wild card game against San Francisco. San Francisco wins 23-17. Dak, 254 yards, a touchdown, a pick, had a rushing touchdown, but he was inaccurate. Sloppy game for both Dak and the defense. Offensive line committed 14 penalties in that game.
14 penalties.
14 penalties. Wild card game against Tampa Bay. That was incredible, sending Tom Brady out. It says elite performance from Dak, total team win. Sure.
Okay.
The San Francisco playoff game, 19-12. Dak, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 206 yards. One of those picks was in the red zone. Verdict, Dak underperformed. Defense did its job.
Okay.
And I think about that game. Tony Pollard got hurt, and they didn't do anything offensively after that. Although if number 7, Trayvon Diggs, puts a hit on George Kittle when he's bobbling a pass instead of making a business decision.
It's the best Ole I've ever seen.
San Francisco doesn't get that touchdown. All right. The 23 wild card game against Green Bay, Dak 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Green Bay wins 48-32. But let's be honest about that game. All those stats came in garbage time. It was 27-0 in the second quarter of that game.
And those 2 interceptions were in the first quarter.
Yeah.
One of them was a pick 6.
Dak was awful in that game. So, but you're the quarterback. You get the win-loss. The left tackle doesn't get the win-loss. The linebacker doesn't get the win-loss. I mean, the team, obviously. But when you're the quarterback, it is what it is. And sure, it's a team game. There are some of those games where the defense was awful, and that's why they didn't win. And I think we all know that. But we're still going to blame Dak Prescott because he's the quarterback. He should have done more.
He should have done more. And look, I think you're going to continue to see that when you look at a guy like Lamar Jackson. He's another guy that hasn't gotten it done in the postseason. And now he's looking at, he could be the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League before too long. He hasn't gotten it done. And you can look at others. Josh Allen, although he's been in the playoffs a hell of a lot, and his record isn't horrible in the playoffs, but he hasn't gotten them to the promised land. Can't get past that Patrick Mahomes. Look, every quarterback, whether you're talking about Dak Prescott or Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson, or name any of them, they all have to have talent around them. They absolutely do. The only guy that doesn't, and he's proven it, is Patrick Mahomes, although he's had some pretty good football teams around him. And last year, that offensive line of his was bad. They lose in the Super Bowl.
And again, you think about, well, I think about that Super Bowl where was it, where the offensive line was just ridiculous because he's lost 2 of them, right? Yep. But he's still there, right? And because he's won, you're going to give him a pass and look at the team. Basically this article, in 7 playoff games, Dak should have 3 or 4 wins, right? He's got 2. He should have 3 or 4 on his record. There's been times where the defense was really bad and times when Dak was the problem. The 2 against San Francisco and the 1 against Green Bay, I'd put squarely on Dak. So if he were 4-3 in the playoffs as opposed to 2-7, would we look at him any different? Now, granted, if those other 2 wins got them another round, there would be more math there. But in reality, what this article is saying, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but the defense costs them a couple, but Dak takes all the heat for it.
Well, he does, but
you're the quarterback.
You're the quarterback. You look back at Tony Romo. It's the same way because those Dallas defenses, when Romo was a quarterback, were horrible. They were awful. Romo put a lot of points on the board, and he played well at times. There were times that he played poorly. I mean, everybody does, but you got to have them both. You got to have both things. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. I look at them, and I think it's a perfect example of a team that probably had the best offense in the National Football League last year. Their defense was absolutely atrocious, and they were losing games 38-35. I mean, it was just horrible. So Joe Burrow is going to take the hit for that because he's the quarterback. And you can say, well, they did this. No, he's the quarterback, the face of that franchise. So whatever their record is, playoffs or otherwise, the quarterback is going to take the heat for it.
Although last year they don't make the playoffs. And nobody blames Joe Burrow. Everybody blamed the defense. And I do think there is a difference when you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys because you bring up Romo. You look at Dak, you can go back to Danny White. You can look at Quincy Carter. And Quincy had a successful season once, right? But even like Tony Romo, I mean, think about that playoff game against the New York Giants in which Tony Romo threw 2 perfect passes to Patrick Creighton.
Yeah,
that PC did not come up with.
Right.
One was an alligator arm, another one in the end zone. But you know what people don't talk about? Right before halftime, they gave up that long touchdown. They end up losing that game 21-7. The Giants go on and win the Super Bowl. But what do we blame? Tony Romo and what's her name in Mexico?
Yep.
Jessica Simpson.
Yes.
Right. Nobody remembers. Bobby Carpenter was there, or Jason Witten was also in Mexico.
Witten wasn't there. That was a made-up story.
You think that was AI put him in there, right? But when you're the quarterback, you get the blame. We're at the Texas Rangers game tonight. Texas Rangers game right now. Well, the game's tonight. But, in baseball, it's all about the pitcher. And then who gets the loss, depending on the inning and whatnot. But, third baseman doesn't get the loss. Team does, but you don't look, this third baseman, Josh Young, when he's been out there, they are, 17-14. It's the nature of the territory, but that's also why they are so highly paid. And again, when you are at that level, it doesn't matter if you've earned it. And you bring up Lamar Jackson. I was reading an article today, Joel Corey, former agent who works now for CBS.
Yep.
And they're talking about when are they going to redo Lamar's contract. And when I first started reading, I was like, why am I reading this? He's got 3 years left on his deal. Oh, $46 million cap hit next year, $76 million the year after. They're going to have to redo that deal so they don't have to deal with that cap hit. So even though there's 3 years left, they've got to start figuring it out before next season is over, because who wants a $76 million cap hit?
You can't have it.
Yeah, but what did Joel Corey write today on CBS? Lamar could be the first $70 million a year quarterback. And I didn't realize this because I think most of those typically are, around 2.5%, 3% more than the last. But the last resetting top of the market quarterback has all been about almost a 10% increase. 9 and change is what Joel Corey wrote. And this dude studies all these different numbers. And that would put Lamar Jackson, and you talk about lack of playoff success, as the first likely $70 million player in the NFL.
And that is absurd. I mean, it really is absurd, but it just tells you how the NFL is king, and they're making all this money. And look, if a team wants to pay a guy that much money, they think he's worth that much money, then you pay him. Obviously, Jerry Jones thought Dak Prescott was worth $60 million. I didn't. So, and a lot of people didn't. A lot of people did. It was split down the middle in a lot of ways. But look, if a team thinks that that's their guy and they want to pay him that amount of money, then it's a team. It's going to cost you in other areas, though, and it will. It will cost you in other areas. And so the quarterback salaries are out of control. But look, I don't think it's unfair to expect more from Dak Prescott or Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson after they get a big contract. I think, hey, you're going to take that money. Of course you are. but perform up to that level. And I think that's where fans get upset and get frustrated.
And looking at some of our YouTube comments, and you can comment there on the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel or tweet us, call us. Louise says, didn't Burrow go to a Super Bowl? He did.
Yes, he did.
And I know he lost the Super Bowl, but he went to a Super Bowl while he was on his rookie contract. And that is why, because I see Josh Jimenez, big Texans fan in there. That's why if you're a Texan fan, you better hope CJ can get you there before he gets paid because, let's face it, Nick Caserio is going to have to pay CJ Stroud and Will Anderson in maybe CJ, maybe even next year. I mean, I don't know if you can do them both in the same offseason, but you look at that, and Josh says, isn't that what makes quarterbacks great? Bad defense can still quarterback control the game enough to win. There are a lot of quarterbacks that have great attached to their name that didn't have the playoff or Super Bowl success. And just go through time. Dan Marino's the first example everybody throws out, went to a Super Bowl his rookie year and never went back. Think about a guy like, a Dan Fouts or, Phillip Rivers for that matter. Currently you look at a Justin Herbert, considered a great quarterback. He's been paid. What playoff successes they had?
What success have they had, period?
Yeah, well.
So, I mean, look, I'm with you there. I'm with you there on that completely. Look, guys like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, think about that. They are considered great quarterbacks and talented quarterbacks. The problem is they were born at the wrong time. I mean, you got that Patrick Mahomes guy that's there, and he's winning the AFC and doing it every year. It's tough, but it still doesn't matter. You got to find a way to overcome that. And for a guy like Josh Allen especially, now they beat Kansas City every regular season.
Yeah.
They just can't beat them in the playoffs.
Well, that's it. It's insane. And again, I love how Texan fan is quick to say, but, the Cowboys haven't been there in 30 years. Texans are almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
They're over 25 now, right?
Right.
Are they about 25?
I would say, yeah.
When they started 2002, something like that?
Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood,
I know that's an organization old enough to drink at this point. And I think they're almost old enough to be off the parents' insurance.
Yep.
And their drought almost as long as the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Right? Cowboys coming to the league and they won Super Bowls early, which is why there are such high expectations. And then they won Super Bowls in the 90s.
They did and haven't done it since. And that's a problem. You like San Francisco is another team, but they've gone a little bit further than the Cowboys.
They've lost some Super Bowls.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's,
their Super Bowl trophy is older than the Cowboys.
It's hard to get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I give that to Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, any of them. It's hard. It's hard to get there, and things have to go absolutely right, or you just have to be a magician like Patrick Mahomes is, and he certainly is that. Speaking of good football, Jason, the Brahmas play their finale this week inside the Alamo Dome against the Arlington Renegades, who happen to play at Choctaw Stadium, we're looking at here at Globe Life Field. If you would like to go, a 4-pack of tickets is waiting for you. All you have to do is call 656-3776, 656-ESPN, and be caller number 4 in honor of Dak Prescott. That's all you have to do. Here we go! Good luck to you and to Dak Prescott this year, because Cowboy fans need you to do something, Dak. They absolutely do. And poor Jerry's not getting any younger. We're broadcasting live here at Globe Life Field, getting ready for the Texas Rangers and the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. Going to be a fun ball game. Texas Tech night here at Globe Life Field. Oh, my goodness. It's fun. Batting practice just about to start. That's going to be fun as well. A lot more from Globe Life Field coming up when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're riding with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
This just in. The NFL schedule has dropped. And you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
George gets justice in an instant. A careless driver turns your life upside down. You're hurt. The bills pile up and work stops. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, your consultation is free. No fees, no pressure, just real help. Justice starts with one call. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, 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 and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr, grrr, grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid before and after it sells. It's like getting paid twice. Jason Minix here from San Antonio Sports Star. You can do that with Orchard. Orchard puts cash into your pocket so you can buy your dream home. Then your Orchard experts prepare and market your old home, including repairs, showings, even price-boosting upgrades. And here's why Orchard's the best. When your home sells for more, which happens 9 times out of 10, you get that cash too. It's almost like getting paid twice. That's why Orchard is the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to sell your home. Orchard can unlock cash from your old home to use on your new home. That's payday 1. Then you buy your new place, and once you're in, Orchard sells your old home for top dollar. You get that money too. Boom, payday 2. Learn how you can make more with Orchard. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
It is breaking news this afternoon. New Orleans Pelicans big man Zion Williamson being sued over allegations of rape. He and his attorneys are denying those allegations. Tonight, the UTSA Roadrunners take on Kansas State in the Austin Regional of the NCAA baseball tournament. Runners are the number 2 seed. First pitch set for 6 o'clock. Right now, the Texas Longhorns putting it to Houston Christian, 7-1, bottom of the 8th.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz, and we're live at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, home of the Texas Rangers, broadcasting from Comerica Backyard. As it buzz, Jason, is starting to get going as we get closer to first pitch, which is 7:05 tonight, and it is batting practice about to take place down there for both teams. I'm Joe Reinagel. That's Jason Minix. A lot of fun.
Absolutely a lot of fun. And how about those Smithson Valley Rangers? They knock off Barbers Hill 4-3. The Rangers are headed to the state finals next weekend at the Dell Diamond.
Love it. Love it. Can you imagine 2 state championships in one school year?
Well, and a lot of the guys that play baseball were on that state championship football team. I mean, dude, that's pretty freaking awesome. Yep. Coach Chad Cale and the crew over there, congratulations. Another state tournament run for those guys.
Boy, that is fantastic. I'm happy for them out at Smithson Valley. Big year for them, no doubt about it. I tell you what, interesting on our YouTube page, and I know we got into this a little bit at a Dallas Cowboys training camp trip in our house on the beach.
Good Lord.
But here we go. It's like, who would you rather have? And I just thought that was interesting. I guess the question on our YouTube page, which you can go to and like and subscribe, by the way, Joe Burrow or Dak Prescott, who would you rather have? And to me, I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Well, except for when we were having the argument, you and RJ and Rudy, it was well, one of you were being a troll, and it wasn't you and RJ. But it was about Justin Herbert.
Yes.
And quite honestly, and if you were to say somebody not named Dak Prescott, that doesn't mean that you don't believe in Dak Prescott. But Joe Burrow is younger. But when you think about just overall talent, pedigree, national championship in college, everything that goes with it, I mean, honestly, if you don't say Joe Burrow, you're lying.
Sure. Of course.
But that doesn't mean that, you don't like Dak. No, because, I think I don't know. What do you think? 25 teams, 26, 27 that would take Joe Burrow over the guy they have, even if they love the guy they have. I think if you were to ask a Texan fan, you want Joe Burrow or C.J. Stroud, I think the answer would be Joe Burrow.
Well, you'd kind of be dumb not to, but I mean, we've got some Texans fans in the one of them sitting back at our studio by the name of James Pledger. What would he say? And then you've got another one on our YouTube page, Joshua Jimenez. Would you rather have Joe Burrow or C.J. Stroud? And which is kind of the projection for C.J. Stroud versus the projection of a Joe Burrow.
Well, then you wonder. I mean, so much of it is system and the guys that are around you.
Right.
Nobody is winning on their own. You have to have your weapons, and that's everybody. But I'm thinking the only fan bases where I'd say, okay, Joe Burrow, or if you're a Bills fan, you want to keep Josh Allen. Yeah. I would say Kansas City.
Yeah, I think you're keeping the guy you have.
Outside of that, I think Joe Burrow would be your answer.
Well, Baltimore may, you want to keep Lamar Jackson.
I mean, I know you might want to keep Lamar Jackson, but I mean, playoff success hasn't been there.
Has not.
And that's what it's about. And the idea of what could Joe Burrow do with the weapons that Lamar Jackson has. Now, granted, he's a bit of a wild card because he is such a big part of their offense. But you look at tight ends, receivers. I don't know. That Derrick Henry guy is pretty damn good.
He is.
If you're in Tampa Bay, you're taking Joe Burrow over Baker Mayfield.
Of course.
If you're with the Chargers, you got Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. You're taking Joe Burrow. I mean, there's a reason, he's always either 3 or 4 on the top 5 quarterback list behind Josh, behind Patrick, and behind Lamar, or in front of Lamar. And that's why I say, so 30 franchises, 29 because Cincinnati already has them, probably would say Joe Burrow over whatever they currently have.
I don't think there's any question. Now, do keep in mind, Joe Burrow's got a couple of pretty good weapons there in Cincinnati that he kind of likes to throw to. So it's interesting. But again, and Pledge is bringing up a legit question. I mean, it is the system and it is the weapons that you have. None of these quarterbacks, none of them, I don't care who they are, can survive and can succeed without weapons around them. And Dak Prescott is that. Now, look, Dak has had some weapons. Cowboys have had some teams. Well, that Green Bay loss, look, that team should have made a big run. They should have. The entire team screwed the pooch on that. I mean, they did. And I'm going to give you that. Dak was a big part of it, but so were a lot of other people. But look, you can't say that Dak hasn't had talent. And there's other quarterbacks that have had some talent and haven't been able to get over the hump either. So it's an interesting debate to have simply because, you'd like to see a Joe Burrow. What would he do if he was Kansas City or Dallas or whatever? It's different.
I mean, and to Pledge's point, Joe Burrow has always had world-class talent around him.
Sure.
And that is true, offensively at least. Would Joe Burrow make your Tennessee Titans better? I don't even know what weapons they have. But if Joe Burrow was the quarterback, would that be 2 or 3 more wins over what they've had?
Yes. I think I could say that. Maybe a couple of wins more from a guy like Burrow, who's smart and is the most accurate quarterback, I think, in the National Football League right now, I would say. But I'm just saying, without weapons around him, no, he's not going to win in Tennessee. He's not going to win in New Orleans. He's not going to win in, I don't know, name another one, maybe Carolina. I mean, no. And none of those guys would. What if Patrick Mahomes would have gone to somebody else besides Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs?
Again, you have to have basically the perfect storm.
Sure.
And what I mean by that, for a number of years, Tampa Bay had a great football team. They couldn't find the right quarterback. In comes Tom Brady. Here's a Lombardi trophy, right? You can be a great quarterback and not have the talent around you. And what are you going to get done? You look at Peyton Manning and some of the successes that he had. Look at the teams that Peyton went to in Denver. And Peyton was not near the same player, but he went where there was so much talent around him. What he could do is get them across the finish line, and he was able to do that. Russell Wilson, playing on a rookie deal, had all that talent around him, had that great defense. They went to the Super Bowl twice when he was on a rookie deal. But once you paid your quarterback, now you couldn't keep all that talent around him. And what has Russell Wilson done since?
Nothing. And what will he do with the New York Giants? It remains to be seen. And I'm going to say probably nothing. Although they have improved that team, and I think they are going to be a little bit better. But it's an interesting debate. And the whole thing started at the beach house in Oxnard with Justin Herbert. And at that time, Jason, I think it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
At that time, yeah, I would have, just because of the promise and the potential. Now, looking at it today, Herbert hasn't lived up to that. Now, and I'm quite honest with it's time for him to do something. I mean, they're putting some players around him. He's got a world-class coach now. And, yeah, it's time for him to put up or shut up, or you're going to be talking about him being bust is a hard word, but a guy that just never lived up to expectations.
Yeah, no, there's a difference between bust and, yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert, kind of like Phillip Rivers, is a great comparison to, say, Tony Romo and Dak Prescott.
Sure.
Incredible talent, but when it mattered most, did you get it done? I mean, when you look at Dak Prescott and what he has done in the regular season, and, we all focus on playoff failures and because they matter the most. But to say Dak Prescott isn't a good quarterback, like some might be suggesting on YouTube, is just not a true statement. Now, if you're a hater, you can believe that all you want, but if you're just trying to be fair and honest with yourself, Dak Prescott is one hell of a quarterback, but he hasn't gotten it done in the postseason. Glenn Fluitt says, would Joe Burrow make your Dallas Cowboys better, JM?
Yes.
I mean, I would, yeah, but I mean, better than what? And when I say that, would he be better than Dak in the regular season? I don't know. It's probably a wash. Well, can he get it done in the postseason? We saw him make a Super Bowl run. My first answer is yes. Would I trade Joe Burrow for Dak Prescott straight up today? Yes, I would. But at the same time, Joe Burrow knows how to play with a bad defense. As talented as he is, that defense was awful last year. And what happened to the Bengals? You could almost say they'd be a wash. I'm not saying that they would be better or worse with Joe Burrow, but it's who all is around you. I'm not saying, if you traded Joe Burrow for Dak Prescott, is that 3 more wins for the Cowboys? Who knows?
Well, that's why it's a fun debate.
Yeah.
And a debate that really is never going to have. It's never going to have an answer, right? It's because you're gonna have so many different opinions and where to go, and you just wouldn't know, and we'll never know. The Joe Burrow ending up in Dallas probably never going to happen.
No.
You just don't know.
Actually,
Pledge.
we do
exactly
know.
Right.
That ain't going to happen.
Well, no, it's probably not going to happen. But, I mean, again, you can judge quarterbacks on other things that they do. And I'll give Dak Prescott an A+ for leadership, an A+ for being a great teammate. He is that. And he's a good quarterback. There's no question about that. When you look at Joe Burrow, I don't think there's anybody more accurate in the National Football League than Joe Burrow. You look at Patrick Mahomes, he's a magician. He does things that nobody else can get done. And then you Lamar Jackson.
Well,
he can turn bad plays into really good ones. So every one of them have their qualities, and it's just a matter of who else is around them.
What could be a funner debate? Is that proper English?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I know what you mean.
You're Joe Burrow the most accurate. Honestly, I think Justin Herbert might throw the best football. I mean, when you think about
maybe the biggest arm, for sure.
The best, again, poor English, the best thrower of a football might be Justin Herbert. If you're just looking at,
he's pretty good.
That,
yeah,
but it's everything else. It is. It sounds more like one of those Pro Bowl games. The best thrower of the football.
Yeah.
Because that dude could probably hit a target, 65 yards downfield. But then again, I remember watching pregame warm-ups one game, and Eli Manning and Tony Romo were throwing footballs in the end zone. And there were trash cans around the other 40, like 50, 40 yards in the air.
Right.
And they were dropping them in a trash can like Steph Curry's hitting threes. I mean, those guys are insane with what they can do.
Absolutely.
But there's no pass rush. There's no, you know what I mean? When you're at practice and you see the tractor pulling the nets that have the little pockets in it and they're able to drop those. I mean, it's stupid how talented these dudes are.
Oh, they're absolutely talented. There's no question about it. That's why I don't get excited about, he's having a great offseason in May. When we're not doing anything, we're in shorts and T-shirts.
But we're going to talk about the great offseason in May that the Cowboys are having next.
Yes, we are going to do that. Absolutely. But first, Jason, I know that this is going to be a fun show. It is Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin evening, August 3rd at the Aztec Theater. We have a pair of tickets for you to go see that extravaganza on August 3rd. All you have to do is be caller number
12
656-3776 656-ESPN. The Cowboys in their offseason. What grade would you give them? We'll talk about it when we continue here on the Blitz, live from Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers. We'll continue on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
My name's John Clay Wolf. I'm the founder of GimmeTheVin.com. Every month, for the next 10 months, everyone that sells us their car to GimmeTheVin.com will get put in a drawing for a $25,000 winner. We're going to pull one of you out of a hat, and somebody's going to win 25 grand. So we're paying more, and you might win 25 grand. GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's Best Car Buyer for nothing.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platforms.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Have you ever closed your eyes and pictured owning a piece of the Texas coast? Ocean views, world-class fishing off of Matagorda Bay? Well, dream no more. Saturday, June 7th, Driftwood Shores at Wolf Point is dropping the final release of these incredible coastal properties. We're talking 1 to 3 acre properties, all with ocean access for just $49.9. You heard correctly, $49.9. This gated community has a waterfront resort-style pool and cabana, your own boat slip and launch, even boat and RV storage, plus paved roads and underground utilities. It's the whole shebang. It's all happening Saturday, June 7th. 1 to 3 acres with ocean access, just $49.9. Yes, just $49.9. Call now for your private tour at 210-853-0389. Excellent financing. Don't wait another minute. Call 832-662-0389. Texas coastal land has never been this affordable.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough, but with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across our multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get a free quote at ethos.com/win. That's ethos.com/win.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by tax relief advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147 or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
And the excitement is building here at Globe Life Field. You can feel the buzz just happening as they're getting set to start batting practice down here. Cards will be out first, Rangers second, and
nobody gives a damn about your cards.
Of course they do. Yeah, I can't wait. I'll have some pictures for all you guys as soon as they come out and put them on Instagram and all of that. It's going to be great. And I don't think we're going to get a shot out here, though, are we? We're a little too far away.
It depends on. Yeah, no, I don't think. No. Now, right below us, there's an area that probably
they might.
Yeah, they might. Although it's I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we're dead center. We're a long ways away.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what. This little pavilion, as we look over the fence here, the railing that we're at, and you look down, it's nothing but tequila. Terramana is how I'm going to say that.
That's the Rock's tequila.
That's the what?
The Rock. You know, Dwayne Johnson?
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, see that cardboard cutout of the Rock right there?
Oh, there he is. How about that?
Good Lord.
Yeah, I may have to sample that over there at some point tonight.
Now, we always what's the word I'm looking for? We're always honest, right?
Of course.
And we take you behind the scenes. And a lot of times when we go on the road like this on our YouTube channel, because it's new for us and kind of cool, we would show you more of the field than what we were looking at, but we're not allowed. Broadcast rights stuff. Now, they told us, you know, you could use it as a backdrop because we've got a third camera. We were just going to have field cam, kind of like stadium swim cam
Sydney cam,
as we now call it. You know, at Circa Las Vegas, but because of the TV broadcast rights, we're not allowed to do that.
Can't do it.
But when you see like there's some TV stations here, it can be the backdrop. But that's all that it could be. And look, Sydney has made an appearance on our YouTube page.
How about that?
Pledge spends way too much time looking at that photo. I saw somebody in the YouTube chat earlier say that we should take Pledge to Vegas so we could meet her. We like our relationship with Circa Las Vegas.
Yeah, dude, she'd have a restraining order against Pledge in about 5 minutes.
Look, and I mean, compared to what she probably deals with hourly,
oh my gosh,
maybe quarter hours daily with every one of her customers.
Yes,
but at the same time, no, we're not taking Pledge to Vegas. But yeah, so we can't have like a field camera, but it can be the backdrop. So, but when you see us looking, a lot of times we want to be able to show you what we're seeing, but the Rangers said no.
Yeah, they said no. When we first got here, it was pretty cool. They were having post-draft workouts. You know, every professional team does that. You bring guys in, and so they had pitchers. They had a couple of guys on the mound over there that were pitching, and what was funny, he had coaches and management types right behind them watching, and every time a pitch was thrown, you see them just talking.
Yep.
Whatever they, I guess however they felt about it, whether it was good or not. But so I thought that was pretty cool to be able to see that.
But we couldn't video or photograph that.
Exactly right. Couldn't do it. So that was interesting. And again, right now is they're set up for batting practice, and the teams will come out here pretty soon, and now they don't want to show in that either.
It's 4:25. I mean, we've seen players out doing different warm-ups and different things like that. But if you're curious, that's why we're not allowed.
We're not allowed.
One thing though, Joe, that has been nice. I mean, we've been in Dallas now for a couple hours.
Yeah.
The number of people bitching about the Dallas Stars. And as a hockey fan who works with a guy who only likes ice and a drink.
Two of them or three?
Yes. It is interesting. The frustration this area is feeling over the Dallas Stars exit. in fact, one of the dudes walking by, well, let's hope the Rangers can score more than the Stars did. And, of course, the Rangers are having their issues offensively right now. But Dallas' season came to an end last night. Third straight year, they made it to the Western Conference Finals and lost. No trip to the Stanley Cup. And last night, Peter DeBoer, the head coach of the Dallas Stars, pulled their star goalie a couple of minutes into the game. Now, honestly, it was a disastrous start. Dallas did all this talking about how they need to score first, and they do score a lot more at home than on the road, but they needed to play with the lead. And Edmonton is just that damn good, right? And first shot of the game for Edmonton, they score. It was on a power play. Now, I know you don't know what that means, Joe. But,
I know what that means.
But it was a stupid penalty on Dallas to begin with, just stupid, right? But they're on a power play. Ottinger gives up the goal, but it really wasn't his fault. The defense wasn't good in front of him in a lot of this series. On a power play, guy coming across, gets a deflection, but there was no defender on him. I mean, could it have saved? Sure, but in reality, I was mad at the defense there, not the goalie. That was the first shot of the game. Edmonton's second shot of the game, same thing, piss poor defense, goals allowed, and, people are still in the beer line, not even in their seats. I mean, it was quick, a disastrous start for Dallas, and Dallas calls a timeout pretty quick, which, again, early in a game, unusual. Hockey doesn't do a lot of timeouts. And Ottinger's over at the bench, whatever, and then he's skating back, and then he gets called back. You're benched. You're benched. And the whole team looks stunned.
Of course.
And so the backup goalie goes in and promptly gives up one of the softest goals of the playoffs, man. Nutmeg right between his legs. I mean, dude, how do you give up? It's 3-0, and you're barely 10 minutes into this game. And then afterwards, the head coach throws his star goalie under the bus.
Well, anytime you pull a goalie, there's the reasoning's always to try and spark your group. So that was the number one reason. We had talked endlessly in this series about trying to play with the lead. And obviously we were in a 2-0 hole right away. And you know what? I didn't take that lightly, and I didn't blame it all on Jake. But, the reality is if you go back to last year's playoffs, he's lost 6 to 7 games to Edmonton, and we gave up 2 shots on 2 goals in an elimination game. So, it was partly to spark our team and wake them up, and partly, knowing that, status quo had not been working, and that's a pretty big sample size.
Well, dude, a couple of things there that he just said. And I don't know this guy from Adam. I don't know if he's a good hockey coach or not. But you're in an elimination game, and you need something to happen to wake your team up. I mean, first of all, that's a problem right there.
And that's I got a problem. One, you're right. It's an elimination game. You shouldn't have to do something to fire up your team, to give them a spark. They should have had that with your rah-rah pregame speech, or I don't know, have your guys ready to go. And if you were that unsure of your star goalie, why didn't you make the decision? Now, granted, I will say this. If they win that game last night, and you might say it might have actually worked because Dallas did play better. They scored some goals. It was 3-0, then 3-1, then 3-2, then 4-2, then 4-3, and then they were competitive, but I don't know that it was the goalie change that sparked them. It was offensively shots that didn't go in Edmonton went in last night for Dallas. But, and I do believe this, had they won that game, Otter would start game 6 in Edmonton. But how you say that, dude, you just can't beat that team. You suck. I mean, that would be like, all right, we got San Francisco in the playoffs. Dak, we know you can't beat this team. Cooper Rush, you get the start.
You're going to get, Joe Milton, you're in.
Are you kidding me? I mean, to throw a player under the bus that way, and then to say you needed a spark, it's an elimination game. I mean, my goodness. I mean,
well, they're down 3-1, right?
Yeah.
Going into that game. So if he's been that bad against them, well, you got to make that change to start that game, don't you? Or make the change prior to that and not right there. That was a panic move by this guy just hoping beyond hope that something would happen. Well, and to me, that's just poor coaching, and then poor coaching afterwards in the post-game press conference.
And he said you can't stay status quo. Based on Otter's reaction, based on the backup goalie's reaction, his name is DeSmith, there didn't seem to be a plan that those two guys were aware of. That, if things start bad, I'm going to pull you. Because the backup comes in and he was not ready. He did. Like, what do you mean I'm in, coach? Are you kidding? I just ordered a chili dog.
Exactly.
What do you mean I'm in?
Dude.
And what's so weird about hockey, and I love, the play-by-play announcer is in a booth. The color analyst is in an area in between the benches, and he's actually sitting next to the backup goalie. And then, of course, when Otter gets pulled, now he's sitting there, and that dude is talking about, agreeing or disagreeing. And there was a lot of debate with the hockey shows last night on, whether it was a right move. But you're right, a panic move in the moment, and then you throw your star player under the bus that way afterwards. That was insane.
Well, I'm assuming now, you tell me, because I don't know the goalie's contract status or the coach's contract status, but I have to imagine there's going to have to be some kissing and making up in the offseason for these two guys if they got to come back and function together.
It's one thing in just putting a sport that's a little bit more relatable to most of the people listening. A quarterback can get benched when he's struggling and having a bad game. Coach can tell him you love him, and you're getting the start the next time. You look at the Brahmas. Kellen Mond got benched a couple of games, and now he's back in playing, right? Maintaining your confidence. But to just say, yeah, dude, what he said, you just wonder how Otter can ever trust his coach again, because Otter believes, because Peter DeBoer said it last night, I have no confidence in you, especially if we're playing this team.
Yeah.
If your boss doesn't trust you or doesn't believe in you, how do you go out there and perform? What? And his contract is hockey contracts are long, and he just signed an extension. He's one of the best goalies in the league statistically. But he's got years left on his deal.
Okay, now you told me something while we're on this hockey thing, and I'm interested in it. The Stars have gotten to the Western Conference Finals 3 years in a row and have never been to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, not during this stretch. They have won a cup before. Okay. They've been, but this stretch of 3 straight trips to the Western Conference Finals, they haven't gotten to the Stanley Cup.
They need to fire the coach. Get him out of there. He can't get over the hump.
Something. And after last night, I imagine in their front offices today, they're having a lot of questions about DeBoer, who's, hockey retread coaches are all over the place. But last night, that was bad. Yeah,
well, it sounds bad. I didn't watch it, but it sounded bad. So I'll take your word for it.
Well, I'll tell you how bad it was.
How bad was it?
Hockey last night went to the small TV, and basketball was on the big TV.
And basketball wasn't much better, to be honest with you.
No.
So that was a real problem. Hey, when you talk about a guy that was having a breakout season before he got hurt, DeMarvion Overshon comes to mind, right?
Yeah.
How's he doing, and will he be back? We actually hear from DeMarvion Overshon. We're going to do that as the Blitz continues live here at Globe Life Field. The Texas Rangers getting ready to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. But we're going to talk some Cowboys football, because that's what we do here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And it is one of those nights where, watch baseball tonight. Watch the WNBA, because there's no hockey. There's no NBA playoff tonight, but there is plenty of sports on television. And you want to make that more exciting, make sure you're watching when playing at Underdog, where all you have to do is make all your picks higher or lower on predicted stats. And there's a lot of reasons to go play WNBA with different promotions that they have there. And again, you can play for as little as $1 and win up to 1,000 times your money. Underdog is one of the best apps out there. Over 100,000 5-star reviews. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars making picks on Underdog. So download the Underdog app. Use my promo code STAR when you sign up to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, use promo code STAR at Underdog.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we got our final set. We'll talk about it. And I'll discuss what a great drive I had from Vegas to San Antonio. Can't wait to talk about it. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
South Texas summer is no joke. With temperatures in the triple digits, your roof takes a beating. Call Stevens Roofing and Solar at 210-785-0994. They're local, family-owned, and ready to help. Get a free, no-obligation roof inspection from a team that knows South Texas weather. Whether it's commercial or residential, a small repair, or a whole new roof, get peace of mind with Stevens Roofing. Call 210-785-0994 today. Stevens Roofing has you covered.
During National Military Appreciation Month, we at University of Maryland Global Campus say thank you to the service members, veterans, and families who dedicate their lives to our country. We are deeply grateful. For over 75 years, UMGC has proudly served the military community, from installations overseas to the communities you call home. Wherever you serve, we stand with you. Learn more at umgc.edu/thanks. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
Are you a chronic interrupter? Incapable of letting other people talk? Do those people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have a 120-night sleep trial, so you can get your money back if a bed's not right. That way, anyone, even someone like you, can sleep. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? Oh, I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
I'm watching pictures of Jordan Spieth, one of my favorite golfers, just doing Jordan Spieth things, making a par after going in the water, hitting in the trees, and the guy's just incredible. He's a scrambling dude.
You say incredible. He can get out of trouble in a hurry.
Well, he can. How do you with just the shots that that's why I like the guy, because he's more like the average Joe than he is, I don't know, Scotty Scheffler.
Now, are you going to give him crap because, as he's getting near the water, he takes his shoes and socks off and pulls his pants up? It almost looks like he's wearing shorts.
Well, almost.
Almost.
Or capri pants, one of the two, right?
I mean, they're up to the knee. I don't know. I figured you would call a foul on that because, at least in that one video shot, it looked like he was a liver.
Well, actually, it's very smart of him. You don't want to go and have to play the rest of the round with wet socks and shoes and wet pants. So, yeah, it's smart. You got to take your shoes off. You got to stand in. That's intelligent.
You know, if you want to feel better about your golf game, because you have a lot of shots like what Jordan Spieth has, Joe, except you can't get out of it that way. In the Pro-Am, there is video rolling around the internet. And can you imagine a Pro-Am and, got Scotty Scheffler and Peyton Manning?
Would that be cool?
It would be cool. Although in Peyton Manning, who fancies himself as a good golfer, and Brandon Stokely was a part of that group. And I can tell you a story about Brandon Stokely.
On the air?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was about Peyton Manning.
All right.
But Peyton hit a house with his driver, and Scotty Scheffler could not stop laughing.
Can you imagine living in that house? So they go bang on top of the roof, and you walk out and you go, what the hell? And you see it's Peyton Manning.
Well, I mean, in Peyton Manning, I always figured is a pretty good golfer. One, he's quarterback, and most of those guys are. But a couple of years ago, when we were at the Army-Navy game, Brandon Stokely was there. He's doing radio in Denver. And he was telling the story at the bar about his first day on the air. He got hired at this radio station. He'd been doing some stuff, but he has a new show, and it starts that day. And that morning, 7 a.m., Peyton Manning calls him and says, "Hey, I've got a tea time at the Master at Augusta this afternoon. Meet me at the Jet in an hour."
Wow.
And he was like, "What do I do?" So he called in sick on his first day with the new job because he was going to go play Augusta with Peyton Manning.
Well, dude, wouldn't you have done the same thing?
Yes, I would.
Of course. I would have done the same thing, too. Not just to play golf anywhere with Peyton Manning would be, but you're going to Augusta?
Uh-huh.
Dude, fire me. I'm not missing this opportunity, dude.
I call the boss. I'm not going to make it in.
No.
What? And told him why. I was like, all right.
I mean, your boss should understand that, right? I mean, you would think. I mean, dude, I got a chance to go play Augusta with Peyton Manning. Today's the only opportunity. You understand, right?
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
I'd be understanding of that. I'd be a little pissed off that I wasn't getting to do it. It's kind of like when our producer goes and plays a really nice golf course and he doesn't invite us to go.
Yep.
That's kind of the same thing.
What do you mean?
James Pledger going to play a real swanky golf course. Takes the day off.
Listen to yourself for a minute.
Doesn't care about us, about the show. He's got a chance to play golf. Takes, just calls in. Not coming in today.
Sorry, Friday. Where were you a couple weeks ago?
What does that mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea. I have no idea what Pledge is talking about.
I have no clue.
Where were we a couple of Fridays ago, Pledge?
No, just Joe.
Oh,
just me. Just me. Okay.
Some kind of member guest thingy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you took off to go play golf.
I did.
Didn't invite us.
Oh, well, it was a member guest thing. You
remember? I could have been the guest.
Well, you couldn't afford it.
Wow. Wow.
No,
I mean, I think in the member guest, the member pays for the guest.
That is absolutely true.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, there's might be a spot for you someday, Pledge. You just never know. Now, Minix doesn't have a chance because I'd like to actually compete. But
why? You haven't competed yet.
No, we actually competed.
Well,
we didn't win.
You didn't come close to winning.
No,
so.
but And
you want to go get hammered at a golf course, I'm your guy.
Well, you are. I agree with that. You can hold your own when it comes to that. But I'm just saying, I mean, you got a chance to play with Peyton Manning at Augusta. I don't know if there's any job worth that.
That's it. I think Sam gets it right on our YouTube. He didn't invite you, Pledge, because he doesn't want to lose to you again.
Lose?
Yep.
Oh, whoa. Sam, you are misinformed, my brother. Way misinformed. It's on my wall in the office.
Framed.
Well, it's not framed yet, but it might be. The scorecard where I beat Pledge. Not only I beat him soundly. I mean, 4 shots in a golf game is like an ass whooping.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. So, Sam, you got it wrong, brother.
So it's 1-1. We have to have the
what do you mean 1-1?
Well, he beat you the first time.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty soundly.
I don't remember that.
I mean, you kept saying you had a bad day.
I think we finished those rounds the same way each time.
Either way, the rubber match at Golf Club of Texas coming soon.
Yes, it will be soon.
Apparently not at the Schwanky member course, Pledge, because, you're not invited.
No, Pledge is invited. I don't think you have enough golf balls. You cost you a fortune in golf balls.
Dude, they're cheap. I don't look for them.
I'll take you out there, Minix.
I don't hit it far enough to lose them. What are you talking about?
I'll take you out there, Minix.
Sure. So the Marvion Overshon has given us a little bit of hope for the back half of the season. Recovering well. Ideally, he's targeting Thanksgiving Day against Kansas City for his return. That's the goal. He did provide an update on how his rehab is going.
It's going real good. I think it really couldn't be any better. Like, if it was better, I'd probably be out there playing right now. So where I'm at and my rehab and my process, it's like, where I'm supposed to be plus some. So I know it's a process. It's something we're not rushing just because I look good. There's no need to rush the process. I'm going to come back when I'm 100%, when I'm ready, when I know I can touch the field and, not have to look down and worry about my knee.
He looks good, though. That's all that matters.
Well, but I think the answer to that, he's not saying, like you, give me a mirror. I
look good.
But because of the stuff that he's doing, the perception is he further along because of some of the cuts that he's able to do and that sort of stuff. And, he did talk about things that he is able to do right now.
I mean, I really, if you ask me, I can do everything. I can do anything and everything. But Britt, he dials it down. I started doing a little light jog this week, so that's a plus. But, I'm shuffling, backpedaling, doing all the small things that the beginning of the stage is like. I'm building into it, but I can do just about everything.
Yeah, except, I again, the one part of that he was talking, and again, there was some talk, about a week or two ago, would he be ready in September? And now but you hear from him, Thanksgiving is kind of the target. But when he said, when I can walk out there and not look at my knee and just react, and we know every athlete that has dealt with that kind of an injury, trusting it is the biggest mental hurdle that they have to clear. And the only way to do it is to go play, but they're not going to rush him back. And that's what it sounds like, because he looks fine. It's almost like when you saw Dak Prescott, I don't know why you acted like his leg was amputated in the offseason and you were surprised at how well he was looking. But, and while Dak said if he had a game today, I could probably go play, there's no way because the time, but progress. And he said, kind of like Dak has said, ahead of schedule from where they thought he would be at this point. And I think maybe because they're a little bit ahead of schedule, that's what surprises the observers, the media out there going, man, I didn't think I'd see you out here doing this stuff.
Well, and with the injury that Dak had, I didn't think so. I was surprised he was out there, surprised he was moving around the way that he was. As far as Overshon, that was a brutal injury that he suffered. It is a brutal. The fact if he makes it back on Thanksgiving Day, I think Cowboy fans should thank their lucky stars because I didn't know if he'd be back this year at all. I mean, it was that brutal of an injury. So, look, I'm glad he's doing well because he was playing well. He was playing well when he got hurt. And so it's sad to see a guy that was doing that, getting it, starting to really come into his own, and then have a severe injury the way he did. So I'm happy for Overshon, and I hope he comes back. Cowboys need him to, and I think he's a big part of the future of this ball club.
Well, and we know what the Cowboys' schedule is, but when the Kansas City game rolls around, they will have 6 games left in the regular season. And you've got the Chiefs, the Lions, the Vikings, the Chargers, the Commanders, and then the Giants.
Yeah.
So you all the help defensively
Brutal,
you can get.
yeah.
And that's hoping that nobody else has a major injury, because in that final 6-game stretch, if Overshon is able to come back for the Kansas City game, the bolt of energy that would give, that would be great, but it only matters if they're in position to make a playoff run, because if I'm GM Jerry, if the Cowboys are looking like they don't have a shot at the playoffs, I don't know that I even want them back, man. Just take the year. It's almost a red shirt, and make sure there is no setback, no other injury, and we can count on you the following year. I know I saw something a couple weeks ago. They were saying maybe the bye. All right, so if they do the bye, you got the Raiders and the Eagles, and then the 6 I just mentioned, about half the season. And that would be great, but 6 games left. You better be in position to make a playoff run to get that kind of addition to your defense coming down the stretch, and then you wonder how long before he gets back into being the player we expect him to be.
Yeah, that's a good point. And coming back into that stretch, Cowboys need to win early. They need to stack some wins up early, because that schedule coming up where you just mentioned is brutal.
Well, in the early part of the schedule, the opener against the Eagles is what it is, although the defending Super Bowl champions, since they've been in that primetime game, are about 500. But then you get the Giants, the Bears, the Packers, the Jets, the Panthers, and the Commanders, Denver and Arizona leading into the bye. And so, no, they're not going to win them all, nor am I saying that, but they've got some very winnable games early in the season.
They do, and that's what I'm saying. You need to stack up some wins against some teams that you should beat. You should be able to compete against, and you should beat, because once it hits that scale, you never know what is going to happen. And you've got some games, some of those tougher games, like the Packers, like Kansas City, that you've got at home. You got to take advantage of that schedule and stack up some before you get to that brutal part of the schedule. And we'll see if the Cowboys can get that done.
That's the key.
We're getting it done.
Yeah, we are.
Here at Globe Life Field, that's where we are at. We are about 2 hours away or so from the first pitch between the Rangers and the Cardinals here at Globe Life Field. We are broadcasting live from Comerica Backyard, a very cool spot to come up, have a few drinks before the game starts, and we're not doing that yet, but we will be shortly.
We
certainly. Absolutely. Batting practice going on behind us. We're having a good time. Hope you are as well, and we will be back, and we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. It's the weekend. Go out and have fun. But if you get arrested, somebody gets arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. Up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
You're locked on the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ziprecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Get in the zone. AutoZone. Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone. Well, I do need a bundle of things. When you bundle, you save. Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter? Save up to $12 on that bundle. What about brake pads and rotors? Bundle those and the brake pads are free. Can't save more than free. You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
College baseball, the regional rounds are taking place. Texas, they are victorious today, 7-1 over Houston Christian up in the Austin Regional. Later tonight, the UTSA Roadrunners will take on Kansas State. The runners are the number 2 seed. First pitch from Austin is set for 6 o'clock. News out of the SEC meetings, Commissioner Greg Sankey announced an increase in the penalty when fans storm the courts or fields.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52,
17. It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
And we are broadcasting live, Arlington, Texas, Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers. We're at Comerica Backyard. That's where we're broadcasting from. I'm Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix to my right, and behind us is Globe Life Field, and a little batting practice going on. The two teams, the St. Louis Cardinals, Texas Rangers, getting ready for a ball game tonight. First pitch about 7:05.
You know, what's interesting is they just opened up the doors.
Yeah.
And I went and made sure the facilities worked here during that commercial break.
Yeah.
And the sea of people that are here already. And right below us, so Comerica Park is this area. We are a little bit elevated from the concourse right below us, obviously, because it's concourse below us, right? But the people that are rushing to catch home run baseballs,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
If somebody hits one up here, they got all of it.
They got all of it.
They got all of it.
Yes.
So we're fairly safe, although my bald spot target is
it's like a light.
Is certainly there. In fact, they might have to give me a hat because it might blind some of the batters down there.
Yeah.
It is possible, but it was like all of a sudden, you know, they just see a people, and everybody is getting these Rangers yearbooks. That's the giveaway tonight.
That is, and they're very nice.
Some days you get the bobblehead, some days you get the cool hat, and today it's a magazine. Cool. And if you're watching on YouTube, Joe is holding that up. But when you look at and think about getting to the game early, it's cool, and you can almost feel the energy levels in the stadium rise. It's a sold-out game tonight. It's Texas Tech night. Cardinals are in town, so you know it's going to be a big series, but it's fun, man.
It's a lot of fun. I tell you what. And again, I tried to explain this to you, Minix. It's like Cardinals are like baseball's version of America's team.
They're not.
Everybody wants to come see the Cardinals play when they come to town.
Not just Cardinal fans.
Well, and I've seen a bunch of Cardinal fans already running around as they open it up. I've seen Cardinal jerseys everywhere, hats, along with obviously a few straggling Ranger fans too.
A few. A few.
Yeah, a couple.
A few.
See, there, look right over there, Minix. You see that? St. Louis red.
Well,
another Cardinal fan right here. Look at this.
This is Redbird junk.
Yes.
This is proof they will let anybody in this building if they've got money.
Looking good, brother.
What's up,
Looking
man?
good,
How
brother.
you doing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
we
we're
are on air. Yeah,
live radio. You know how it works.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have a beer in your hand.
Well, he probably just walked in here.
It's right over.
It's right over there.
Yeah, my first stop is always that. Where's the beer? And then I can walk around and check out all the other stuff.
I like the Cardinals gear. Looking good. I'll have mine on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sure you
It will happen.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are.
We'll talk during a break.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hang around. Sorry, we're not including everybody else in on that conversation. But when you see a diehard Cardinal fan like that, it's out of respect.
It's a diehard Blitz listener.
And it is.
About?
That too.
Years ago, we took a bus trip up here. And when Fox Southwest was still a thing, and we did this whole bus trip, and it happened to be Rangers Cardinals.
Yeah.
And Redbird's junkie, I don't remember his real name.
That's good enough.
Was on the bus, and his kid, who's now way taller than him, and I think almost out of college, was just a little boy on that bus trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. No, it's good to see. And it will be like that tonight. Obviously, there'll be more Rangers fans than anything else, but there will be a lot of St. Louis fans here. It's just the way that it is. And I joke about them being America's team, but it's true. It's one of those teams that people like to see if they're coming to your town, like it would be with the Yankees or the Dodgers. I mean, it's just they're one of the iconic baseball teams that been around for a while and been very successful.
Well, and that's true, and they are an iconic franchise, but I wouldn't say they're anywhere close to being America's team when you're talking about baseball.
I would say they're America's team. Of course.
But the reality is, when you think about, and St. Louis is in the conversation, Yankees or Dodgers,
yes,
and then probably Cubs.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Braves.
Yeah.
And then probably your Cardinals.
Well, I wouldn't put them below the Cubs ever.
And why wouldn't you put them below the Cubs?
Because
you hate the Cubs.
There's nothing lower than the Cubs.
But again, though, growing up, when you had WGN and you had TBS out of Atlanta, the Braves and the Cubs were kind of the national teams. Then you have the Yankees being the Yankees and all the bandwagon fans like the Wookiee. And you get the same with the Dodgers. And, the Dodgers, a lot of San Antonians that are fans of the Dodgers.
Sure.
Just because of the relationship with the Missions all those years ago. But going back to when they were playing at BJ Keefe and they were the San Antonio Dodgers and we had the Dodger Dollies and all that kind of stuff. But I would say the Cardinals, if I was being fair in ranking popularity of teams across the country, would be fifth. Which is dude, I'm an Astro fan. You talk about, a fan of a team that's probably the most hated outside of the Yankees.
Well, you shouldn't cheat.
And didn't you guys get in trouble for that?
No, never.
Ever.
Never.
Ever.
Yes, I mean,
if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Bang the trash cans. I got a T-shirt and a hat that says they won a World Series and memories that will last a lifetime.
That's awful. That's awful.
Cans.
No, the Astros are great. I don't mind the Astros. They're kind of the Cardinals' little brother, but that's all right.
I believe
the way that it works.
I believe postseason record, because when you talk about Dak Prescott, regular season doesn't mean a damn thing. It's all about the playoffs. And if you look up the postseason record between the Astros and Cardinals, the Astros have the winning record.
What is it, 4-3?
Does it matter?
Something like that.
Does it matter?
It doesn't.
Does it matter?
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. The fact that the Cards will make the playoffs this year and the Astros won't, that
you don't know that.
Oh, I do know that.
You don't know
sure
that.
I do.
You don't know that.
It's going to be a good year. I love baseball. And, baseball is one of those sports, honestly, that it's I love watching on TV. I'm one of those guys that enjoys it. I know you enjoy it too, but I like watching golf too, right? So I enjoy all this. But you come to a ballpark, there's just something exciting about coming to the ballpark to watch baseball. It just, to me, is that much more fun when you're in the ballpark.
It is. I know. I don't mind it on baseball, watching baseball on television. I really enjoy listening to baseball on radio.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But when if I'm at home, and I'll watch baseball. My wife cannot stand to watch baseball on television until it's the playoffs.
All right.
Although, want to go to a park? Absolutely. She is the let's go. Whether talking about going to a Missions game, coming up here, whatever, loves going and watching in person. And she actually, for the most part, pays attention. Although she's trying to figure out what are we going to eat in this inning and that inning and whatnot. But she is not a fan of watching baseball on television night in and night out until the postseason. If we were at home tonight and I started watching baseball, she's taking the remote.
It would be the end for you. Look, Maggie's the same way, but she enjoys coming here. And I just think it's, being in the ballpark with all the other fans, eating a hot dog, having a cold beer. It's just a lot of fun. And there's no better way to watch baseball than to do it that way. And this is a great place right here, Globe Life Field, man. This place is pretty phenomenal.
When you think about this stadium, and they put obviously a lot of money into it, building it, but then also when they held the All-Star game here a couple years ago, and like this area we're in right now, Comerica backyard, it's always kind of been this, but not what they've turned it into, which is great. Just walking around the stadium, and when we got here at noon today, and they were walking us up to where we are, just the art, the paintings, the photos, just all the cool stuff. Like, I know there's a game, but you can understand people that will get lost for 2 or 3 innings just walking around looking at all the cool stuff here at the stadium.
Well, and that's the beauty. I mean, if you're going to go to a ball game, go early.
Yeah,
like a lot of people did, boy, because as soon as they opened the doors here a few minutes ago, it was a rush to get in here. Obviously, it's kind of hot outside, so they want to get inside in the air conditioning. But no, you come early so you get that opportunity to do that, to walk around a little bit, to see, the things that they have done, especially if you don't get to come a lot. So, you see what's going on, and you see the things that they have to offer, and I think it's a lot of fun. And again, this is a perfect spot. I mean, my goodness, you come up here and have a couple of beers before you go sit down in your seats and enjoy. So,
I mean,
awesome.
Texas Live.
Yeah.
And that's probably that's where we will end up afterwards.
No doubt.
But also, and somebody on YouTube says you got to get one of those Boomstick hot dogs. I've had one of those. You need 18 people to eat that thing with you. But there's a TV dude next to us. Was CBS?
CBS,
and I thought it was the Boomstick hot dog because it's the same box. But apparently that's a burrito in that box. I can only imagine. I'm thinking that burrito's got to be like the Okie burrito at Las Palapas on steroids.
It has to be, especially the carrier that they have it in. But the sports guy and his producer and the photographer, they did a number on that burrito after their first live shot. It's gone.
And let's just say it was the producer that did the most of the damage to that because that's what producers do. James Pledger.
Exactly right.
He was like, I'm not sharing this.
Yeah, I guarantee you. Boy, I tell you, it's fun. And that looks good. I do want one of those hot dogs, though, man. We got to do that. And then if I got to eat it myself, I'll do it. I got 9 innings. Don't we all wish we could see more wiener? Don't we all? Of course, don't we all?
I got to say, I would not recommend a 3-foot chili dog for you tonight by yourself.
Why not?
You have a lovely wife. And you're staying in a hotel tonight. Just saying.
It's good for me, Jason. It's good for me. All right?
Yeah.
It's good for me.
I mean, that part will be, but that also would prevent other good things from happening.
Well, so like road wins?
Well, I mean, you're trying to get one tonight for your Cardinals and trying to get one for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. All right, from baseball, we're going to switch it up and talk a little Cowboys football with John Machota from The Athletic. He's going to join us next as we broadcast live from Globe Life Field here in Arlington, Texas, home of the Texas Rangers. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Morning Huddle.
I went through it, and they told me no one time. They would never tell me no. They will. Trust me.
Are you crazy? You think I'm an unfit cat parent?
You just had one die on you.
You son of a bitch.
Of the 2 cats you've had,
How
one of them's
dare
dead.
you?
You're batting 500.
How dare you?
I'm just saying.
You wouldn't bring up the time that a coyote ran off with your puppy?
That's been years ago.
But did it happen?
That was a puppy. I didn't say puppy. I'm just talking cat right here.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Big cash giveaway, yeah. $250,000, yes. The next 10 months, GimmeTheVin.com is giving back. Everyone that sells us their car gets put in the drawing, and monthly we're pulling out $25,000 and giving it to you. So not only are we the top of the market buyer, but you got a chance to win $25,000. That's what we mean by big cash giveaway. GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's best car buyer for nothing.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 6-tool power tool combo kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone. Well, I do need a bundle of things. When you bundle, you save. Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter? Save up to $12 on that bundle. What about brake pads and rotors? Bundle those and the brake pads are free. Can't save more than free. You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Claire. She loves her motorcycle, and she's learned to love the insects she encounters on her rides. She may not know the difference between a gnat and a mosquito at 55 miles per hour, but she does know one thing. It's always gross when one flies into her mouth. But she's so used to it that it's weird when it doesn't happen. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back with comprehensive and collision coverage from America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Maybe one of the best rock bands ever, huh? Styx? How about Styx? They're awesome. Are you kidding me? And you will get to go see that awesomeness if you would like. You can win a pair of tickets right now to see Styx and the Kevin Cronin Band, plus Don Felder, the Brotherhood of Rock Tour, June the 4th at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater. If you are caller number 9 right now at 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Right now from Globe Life Field, that's where we are. This is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe, he's Jason, and we got our good friend John Machota joining us now from The Athletic. John, what's going on?
Not much, gentlemen. How are you?
It's all good, man. We're over here at Globe Life Field. I'm thinking the last time we were up here for a game, you actually joined us.
That's right.
Although you're working this week because the Cowboys are working. Everything seems so positive, John, coming out of Cowboys camp. Just energy, talking about competition, this, that, and the other. Has Schottenheimer made that much of an impact already, just with the overall just environment there at the Star?
I wouldn't say it's like some monumental thing, but it's something that he's trying to establish as a first-time head coach. And then it also fits with the fact of when you have a new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, people are going to want to know, what's the difference? What are the changes around here? What are they doing? Is the offense look any different? Does defense look any different? Well, from these OTA practices, you're not going to get a lot of that, and so you don't just not write stories, and the things that have stood out the most are the players talking about the energy, the management talking about the energy, the coaching staff talking about the energy, and you see it in their practices. I mean, they have the music pumped up, blaring throughout, and so it makes for interesting off-season storylines. But I don't get the sense that from anybody that covers the team on a day-to-day basis that we're over here screaming like, guys, it's going to be way different. I think that there's a lot of fans that interpret it the way they want to interpret it, and they think that, and maybe it will be. But I just maintain anytime I've written a story about this offseason, I always include in there somewhere about how, and none of this will matter if they don't win games on Sunday.
Yep.
That's exactly right. And John, you've been covering this team for a long time. You've covered OTAs and you've seen the practice. You've seen it. What sticks out to you, if anything, that is different about this OTA compared to, say, last year?
Well, compared to last year, I would say one of the big things is that there is music playing throughout, and it's blaring. Mike McCarthy is not big on that. They play some music during warm-up, stretching, some things like that. But when the practice got started, there wasn't really much music going on, and it certainly wasn't blaring throughout the practice field. So that would be one. That's the most noticeable for sure. I would say that with Brian Schottenheimer, he is much more like Jason Garrett was, where throughout these practices, he's trying to work his way around to get with every position group, not just be with the offense as much, whereas like Mike McCarthy usually stayed mainly with the quarterbacks. So like when the special teams was practicing and stuff like that, he was off doing that stuff. And maybe that will be Schottenheimer during the season when he's obviously calling the plays and is the head coach. But you can tell he's trying to make it a point to, get around to as many groups and be around even coming over and watching Donovan Wilson on the resistant cords for a little bit and some of the rehab work he was doing. Typically head coaches don't do that. They're off working with like their specialized group and things like that. So you can tell he really is trying to, build a bond with the coaching staff and the players that frankly, I think it's more fitting for today's NFL where there are more coaches that are almost like they are like an extension of the players as opposed to the hard-nosed Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, Jimmy Johnson, Tom Landry. So he reminds me of the way like where I think that coaching's going. But in terms of plays on the field and things like that, no, there's nothing that's happened. I'm like, wow, that's way different than anything they've done in the past.
John Machota from The Athletic joining us here on the Buyers Barricades at Gasline on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. I heard the audio and I saw your tweet about something O.C. Odigizua said yesterday about the stuff that Eberflus is having them do, and I'm paraphrasing. He went and watched tape from last year, and if they were doing last year what they're asked to do right now, they would have made a lot more plays. I took that as quite a shot at Mike Zimmer. How did you take that? Was that intended that way, or was that saying Eberflus is doing a lot of things differently?
Yeah, no, I don't think he was even talking about they as much as he was talking about him as the three technique defensive tackle. And if you go back to when Rob Marinelli was the DC and Eberflus was the linebacker coach, the three tech was a bigger deal then. That was always talked about as a position of. That's why they went out when they weren't even doing anything in free agency and they went and got Henry Melton and made a little bit of an investment at those times because the three technique was it was like the most important part of Rod Marinelli's defense. He was coming over from, obviously it was a big deal when he was with Tampa Bay with Warren Sapp and it was a big deal when he was in with the Bears as well, and so that was something that he was trying to bring over, and Eberflus, that's part of his deal too. It's the three technique defensive tackle position. And I think what Osa is saying is that I think there's a lot more opportunities for him to be a playmaker in terms of getting after the quarterback and being a rusher as opposed to just being a defensive tackle that you need to stop the run and be more, sound in the run gaps and things like that. And maybe not get as many opportunities to make the tackle for losses and the pressures on the quarterback. And that's more of the system and the way that you use an Osa Odigizua. And you can see, obviously, in the offseason by them giving him that contract that they think that there's more to what Osa has to bring, too. So I think it was more about him than it was about anything on the defense, like that they're going to be making any more plays. I don't think that's the case. And honestly, even if it was, if we're being completely, we're going to be completely honest, we're not going to be Yahoo Sports taking a little snippet headline and trying to stir something up. If we're being honest and being real journalists about this, I will also say this. If you want to go after Mike Zimmer about people making plays and things like that, I keep going back to the number 40. And that's 40 games that were missed by those top four edge rushers. Sam Williams missed the entire season. DeMarcus Lawrence missed damn near the entire season. Micah Parsons missed a lot of games. Marshawn Nealon missed games. So it's like, if you tell me that those guys don't miss, let's say they combined to miss 6 games, I think the entire defense looks a lot better than it did. Those injuries were a big part of why that defense wasn't what it probably could have been. And so that's the big thing for me. We just talked about what the changes, the coaching staff and all that. All that stuff's great. You tell me that this team's going to be way healthier than they were last year. That to me is more important than anything else.
I have to agree with that. But you brought it up, John. Developmental Dak.
Here we go.
And that kind of went like wildfire yesterday. And I know a lot of reporters there in Dallas were saying it, taken out of context. But Brian Schottenheimer did say that, right? That Dak was, I don't know how do you put it?
Developmental phase.
Yeah. So I don't know. How did you take it? And what is everybody saying about that?
I took absolutely nothing from it. It was just a different using of different words than what Mike McCarthy said. And that's just the way it is. Like the quarterbacks, like you never should feel like, yeah, I got this thing all figured out. Like I can make all the throws. I've seen every defense. I don't need to grow. I'm good. To be honest with you, when I think of McCarthy and I say that, it makes me think of two quarterbacks that he coached before and where they were at the end of their careers. Brett Favre, he certainly seemed like that. He knew everything and nobody could tell him anything. That was an amazing end to his career. And it looks like we're seeing a little bit of that with Aaron Rodgers as well. Weird. So I do think that you do need to kind of always be trying to take on new things. That doesn't mean that they're changing his arm angles or the way he throws a football or things like that people want to try and stir up and make it into something more than it was. But it's more of the case of, no, there's little things that we're going to tweak in the offense that will better suit Dak that maybe that Schottenheimer saw being on the coaching staff the last few years. It's not like, I think more than anything, he was trying to make it seem like that. The question was about Joe Milton. Let's not make it seem like that Joe Milton is just this raw guy that he's the only one that needs developing and that Dak and Will Grier are these finished products. He was trying to say that like everybody is still developing. There's everybody on the team can do something to be better than they were the year before. And that includes Micah Parsons. That includes CeeDee Lamb. That includes George Pickens, so that's what he meant. But yeah, sure. If you want to just trim that down to one sentence and tweet that out, yeah, you can stir some stuff off in a boring time of the offseason.
And a lot of people did, including the guy sitting to my left and Joe Reinagel.
It's the Dallas Cowboys.
But again, though, I look at it. If you're not tweaking things and trying to get better, you're not doing your job.
Of course.
And he was actually answering a question about Joe Milton. And that's one thing that Schottenheimer does is if he's talking about one guy, he tries to include two or three other to give them props at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one thing. You're not going to hear Brian Schottenheimer throw a guy under the bus. That's just not his style. Maybe during the season, if something gets really out of hand, that'll happen. But I don't anticipate any time. Right now, we could be out in training camp, and it could be in week 3 of training camp, and Micah's still not there. He's not going to say anything negative about Micah. That's just not how Schottenheimer's wired. And I certainly don't think that's how he's going to go about things in his first year as head coach. So, no, that's the way I took it, was that he just didn't want it to make it seem like, Joe Milton is the only one that's got work to do, and the other quarterbacks have to work on things for games, but then they also have to teach this young quarterback that's in the room too. And he doesn't want it to come off like it's that way. So I think that's why he was saying that. But no, I don't remember a time that Mike McCarthy ever said that there weren't things that they were working on with Dak. There's always something, whether it be footwork, whatever, to try and make you a better quarterback than you were the year before.
Visiting with John Machota of The Athletic here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. John, you bring up Joe Milton, and he spoke yesterday. I like his confidence, certainly. But when you see him out there in OTAs running around, I look at him as a very talented guy, but very raw. Does he come across that way?
Yeah, that would be a good way to put it. I mean, that's the one thing about OTAs is that we only get to see one practice throughout the week. And so I don't like judging too much off of that and saying, like, I always make sure whenever I write stuff like that, I'll be like, in the OTA practice, open to reporters. Because, like last week, Joe Milton in the OTA open to reporters had 2 interceptions. He didn't look great. But in some of the other practices, Brian Schottenheimer said that, he made some big throws and things like that. Whereas if we're there and he has some, deep ball to George Pickens, we're going to talk about how great that looked and everything. Well, that hasn't happened in the practices that we've been at. And I also think one of the reasons why is they haven't really done a lot of big plays in front of us. I mean, at one point, PR came up to us and told us that we couldn't even take still pictures during some of the team drill stuff, So we're already can't take any video. So we couldn't even take still pictures because they don't want to showcase anything. And so everything up to this point is pretty vanilla. But I will say, if I'm just comparing the 2 practices I saw, Joe Milton this week looked much more confident, much more like the guy I saw in that final game last season when he was quarterback in the Patriots that went over the Bills. Just very confident what he was doing. Not to say every throw was perfect, but there weren't throws being intercepted. There weren't throws he was putting him into harm's way. And he's got so much athletic ability. You know, he can just stand there and just do a backflip like it's nothing. You know, the arm strength is crazy. I mean, he's got all the tools. It's just going to be about, you know, them honing the offense with him and doing the stuff that, you know, he feels comfortable with. And then obviously, you know, he needs to continue to progress as a quarterback in the NFL.
John Machota from The Athletic here on the Blitz. Now, John, one of the things that Schottenheimer has done, at least talks a lot, and it seems like he's doing it, is relationship building and talking about all the different relationships. And he pointed out the other day about George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. In fact, CeeDee missed a pass and did push-ups, and George Pickens went and did push-ups with them. And CeeDee celebrating a George Pickens touchdown pass. Overall impressions, and I know it's early and hard to tell at this point, but kind of feels like the George Pickens we thought we were getting might be a little different than the George Pickens that they actually got.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, the two things I see is that he's going to be playing with a quarterback that's the best quarterback that he's ever had throw him the ball. He's a seasoned veteran, so he's going to have that. That's going to be a positive for him. But the other is that he hasn't played with a wide receiver like CeeDee Lamb. And it's a player that, not only because of his talent level, but it's a player that George Pickens clearly looks up to. And so, yeah, those two have definitely, you can tell, have a bond that should be a good thing on Sundays, especially when there could be games where one's not getting as much attention as the other and vice versa. So, yeah, that part I will say you know, even him just sitting in the locker room yesterday while, you know, off the record, you know, a group of reporters is talking to Dak and he's sitting next to him and just kind of, you know, hanging out. Like, that wasn't what I would expect from what you heard in Pittsburgh. Like, it doesn't seem like he wanted any part of talking to the media and stuff like that. So, no, certainly a new start, a fresh start with a different organization has got to be a big thing. But then also just the fact of the pieces that are around him. You know, he probably looks at it as, hey, this is an opportunity for me to have a really big year. And it seems like he likes the guys that he's around up to this point. And so obviously that's a good thing.
Well, John, I'm impressed with Javonte Williams. I say impressed, but I think I'm expecting good things from him. But when you read some publications, they say still the running game is probably the Cowboys' weakest link right now. How do you see the running game as it stands right now?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely the weakest link on offense, but I kind of right now, I'll be honest with you, I feel better about the running backs than I do the cornerbacks right now. So, but yeah, when they didn't use a high pick on a running back, that was going to be the case. You know, they could have drafted Bucky Irving last year, and at this time a year ago, you wouldn't have talked about how like Bucky Irving was going to be like have this really outstanding season. Even early in the season, Bucky Irving didn't have that for Tampa, but that's the one thing. It's like, it's just hard to know right now. And it's really tough right now without any pads on. And we won't really get to see a good glimpse of it until they start running and hitting. And that probably won't be until at least a week in Oxnard. And so you're talking late July until we really get to see something there. But yeah, Javonte Williams, every time that we've been out there, he's been the guy running with the ones. I mean, he's a veteran guy. He's 2 years removed from his ACL injury. So that's a good thing, obviously. But I don't see this as being a running back room where just one guy is going to end up eventually being the lead guy and everybody else gets the scraps. Like, I think that he's going to get touches. I think Jaden Blue's going to get a lot of opportunities. And who knows, there'll probably even be a third guy that works there, whether it be Miles Sanders or Phil Maffa. So it's going to be a committee thing. I myself would rather have a kind of a bell cow guy. But, you know, when you have George Pickens and you have CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson and Tolbert and Turpin, there should be a lot of weapons that keep teams from, you know, loading the box up. So even with running backs maybe just being solid and not great, they should still be able to have some success on Sundays.
Well, and again, some success on Sundays is going to be determined a big part by the offensive line play. Tyler Guyton this week, yesterday, said that he knows he didn't have the greatest of rookie years and the things that he needs to work on. Anything noticeably different about Tyler Guyton, either, you know, body and shape, learning how to eat, learning how to properly prepare himself, or was that just, you know, him saying all the right things?
Well, he certainly was saying all the right things. I didn't particularly notice his body looking that much different. I didn't I guess, but I will also say I didn't think it was like some just awful out of shape guy last year either, though. I didn't think that was like a major concern. I think it's a guy that was moving from right tackle to left tackle. There were going to be some growing pains, and there certainly were. And so I think everything he's done this offseason, from what I've heard, he's doing everything to have, that take that major jump in year 2. And it sounds like from the diet he talked about yesterday that he's taking that very seriously, the working out, the stretching, all of that stuff throughout the week. That's a big part of it, because I think most people would tell you that no offensive lineman, particularly offensive tackles, that he's got the tools there to be really good. If he wants to be really good, it's all there for him. Kind of like Tyler Smith at left guard. There's some people that didn't like him when they drafted him out of Tulsa, but he's got the body, plus he's got the work ethic and everything else that goes with it. And so now you have this 2-time Pro Bowl left guard. And so I think that's the thing that I've said this all along, even going back to last season when things weren't going well for Guyton. The coaching staff likes Tyler Guyton way more than the critical fans are of him. I have never once on the previous coaching staff or this one got the sense that they were ready to kind of turn the page on Tyler Guyton. And so, he said all the right things there, say absolutely. So now it's obviously one of those things that when the pads come on, you just have to show it on the field, and he's going to get the opportunities, because that's a lot of talented edge rushers that he's going to be going against in Oxnard.
John Machota from The Athletic. Speaking of diet and lack of exercise, your suggestion tonight here at Globe Life. The 3-foot hot dog, the Boomstick, the chili cheese dog that they have, or apparently, I didn't know they had this, but it's like a 3-foot burrito. Which one would you go for tonight?
I'd probably try the burrito just because the Boomstick thing's been kind of there for a while. So I'd probably go with the new thing, but I think you're in good shape either way.
Yeah, I think so.
Either way, I'll be a shape. Either way, if you're coming out to the game, Ryan Eagle's buying beer, so we'll see you here in a bit.
Absolutely.
That sounds good, guys.
Good stuff. John Machota from The Athletic. Make sure you subscribe to The Athletic and follow John on Twitter at John Machota, Jon Machota. All our guests on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com.
We got a ball game coming up here at Globe Life Field, because that's where we are, the backyard, courtesy of Comerica. And Cardinals, Texas Rangers, getting ready to do battle, and everybody's coming in. I tell you what, I can't keep count of all the Cardinals shirts, jerseys, stuff that I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
lost count.
I think you could still probably use both hands and count them.
I've lost count. They're just all over the place.
You're seeing a lot of red that has a Texas Tech logo on it.
I have not seen one Texas Tech logo yet.
Open your eyes.
I guess I'm going to have to. I just see that red and it blinds me, and I don't know what to say.
Somewhere Dr. Parkhurst is very disappointed in you.
No question about it. We're looking forward to the game. We're going to wrap things up here on the Blitz when we continue. Tell you a little bit about what's going on here. We'll give you kind of behind the scenes of what we're seeing right now. It is a lot of fun. No doubt about it. And we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we got our final set. We'll talk about it, and I'll discuss what a great drive I had from Vegas to San Antonio. Can't wait to talk about it. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Here in Texas, we know that trust is earned and reputation matters. Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and that Texans can respect. A firm where no defendant is too big and no case is too small. Backed by a track record of success and a commitment to our clients, Thomas J. Henry remains the name you can depend on if you have been injured. Trust the firm that stands for you. Trust Thomas J. Henry, San Antonio, Texas.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee through May 30th. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the GPS directions first before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at HEB and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team: Southern Recipe Small Batch.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Doing it.
That's all right. Hey, you do it, buddy. I won't be here to find out. Hey, this is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe. He's Jason. And, man, what a great time this has been today here at Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers. They're about set to take on the St. Louis Cardinals, a game you can hear right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, beginning at 6:30, right after Extra Innings with Pledge, an abbreviated version of Extra Innings with Pledge.
Yeah, no, it's Friday. Pledge is like, wait a minute, hang on. We got the Rangers over on 1250. The boys are up there. Why would I do a whole hour today? I can get out 30 minutes early on a Friday. Let's put the Rangers on 94.1.
Well, it's smart,
dude. It's a bet move.
That is smart. I love it.
It's a bet move. I've got a question for you.
All right.
And
look at all these Cardinal fans walking over here.
Yeah,
See that?
There's three.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a dude wearing an Aggie shirt. What the hell, right?
Is he lost? He's an Aggie. What do you expect?
I mean, some things don't need to be said, right? No, here at the stadium, right below us, over yonder, there's a sign where you can buy mystery balls.
Mystery balls. You know, so. Yeah, when you say that,
it's what the sign says.
It's a fundraiser for something. I don't know what it is, but it's a fundraiser for something. But I almost want to get one to see what the hell it is.
It's a mystery ball.
Well, but it's a prize, isn't it?
Well, I don't know because it's over there, and I don't even know how to get over there from where we are.
Actually, an elevator over there.
Well, there's elevators and some stairs, but is it like? Could it be game used or autographed by somebody? Because those mystery balls.
Put them in my mouth.
No, don't do that. They don't appear cheap.
Well, no, there's one. Yeah, one is a $30 mystery ball.
All right.
The other one's a $60 mystery ball.
You know,
you got to get two balls for $60.
You would think.
Yeah.
Although that $60 ball, it's still mystery, but it's obviously a better mystery than the $30 mystery ball.
Well, apparently so. The prize better be better.
Look at that. Joe's going to go drop $100 on balls tonight.
I'm not.
Because he wants mystery balls.
I want to see what the hell they are, though. And there's a line.
What do you think
there's
they
a
are?
line of people waiting for those mystery balls.
Don't you kind of figure?
Yes. I'm just saying.
You know, we're not talking about some morning show cat. I can tell you that. But those were a mystery to Mr. Hoffman.
What, the cat's balls?
I don't know if that was a mystery or an infatuation.
Yeah, I think it was an infatuation. He was wishing he had balls like that. Goodness gracious. Jeez. Oh, my gosh. I'm just curious. I got to maybe ask somebody that's already bought one.
Well,
to find out what the hell.
Buy one.
I don't want to just go buy one.
You want mystery balls, there's a small fee, and you've got to pay it.
$60 for a mystery ball.
Well, I mean, be cheap and get the $30 mystery ball.
Yeah, but I mean, what if that prize is crappy?
Well, look, it's $30. And it's a fundraiser.
Well, so is that beer over there I'm about to get.
There's no mystery there.
Yeah, at least I know what I'm getting when I shell out whatever that is. What do you think it is? Just off the top
honestly,
of your head.
I'm going to guess it's either game used or autographed baseballs. The mystery is when they tell you who it is, do you know who it is?
Exactly.
Right? Could it be Josh Young or James Pledger?
Well, if it was Josh Young, I'd keep it. Otherwise, I'm throwing it back.
Well, you just paid $30 for it. And knowing you're going to get two $60 ones.
I'm not getting
you're going to drop $120
balls.
on a set of mystery balls.
I'm not doing two $60 balls.
Well, I mean, look, because you keep saying balls, plural, you're getting two of them. You can't just buy a mystery ball. I mean, who wants one ball?
What? Nobody. Lance Armstrong did okay.
So did Manu.
I guess so.
But there was no mystery how one of those disappeared.
Well, that's true.
Maybe it's for sale.
It could be. Hey, you've got Manu's ball. Congratulations.
What could you get for that on eBay?
Oh, my gosh. A hell of a lot more than $60, I'm sure.
Which makes it an investment.
Well, I hope it's been kept in dry ice or something all this time. I mean, my goodness.
You don't want dry ice down there.
Well, no, but if it's not attached anymore.
Just saying.
I am curious, and that's I've never seen a deal like that, but it is some kind of fundraiser. I just don't know what they're raising funds for.
I mean, generally you see the people selling the 50-50 raffle tickets, but you're right. I've never seen a sign where you could go buy mystery balls.
Well, there's a red package and a blue package.
Don't get the blue.
Well, I think
want blue ones.
No, you don't.
Although I don't know if you want red ones either.
I don't know which is which dollar-wise. That's the thing. But I probably there's a line. That's what's intriguing about it. So it must be something good.
I'm guessing it's probably a really good. $60 for a fundraiser. You're getting something good. And it's amazing the number of baseballs that they go through in a game, a pitch, and then it goes off to the side, and then they mark it, and then they sell game-used stuff.
Yeah.
And they sign autographs every day. All these guys do, and maybe they're doing it for fundraisers, and maybe it's star players, and maybe it's not, and that's the mystery, because if you were to go up and you were to say, all right, Corey Seager, what is his baseball? And Josh Young, and then, I don't know, there's values on all of those, but in that box, you could get a Corey Seager.
You could.
Yeah.
It's possible. Or you could get a James Pledger, and then, it would
again, that is the definition of mystery balls.
And that's
you don't know what you're getting.
Well, that's a definition of a booby prize.
Oh, you went specific to James Pledger. I wasn't.
Oh,
Blow in your trombone?
You're so mean. Good Lord.
I swear we haven't started drinking yet.
Yet.
Not yet, but it's coming very soon.
Yet being the key word.
No, it's been great. Thanks to the Rangers. They've taken great care of us. I know they've come by several times, bringing us water, just treated us very hospitable-like.
Water.
And we appreciate them for letting us come up here and do the Blitz today. It's been fun. It's going to be a fun weekend. Stick around and watch the game tonight, and we'll be back here tomorrow as well. Tomorrow I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to it, but we don't have to work, right? So you just get to come to the game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's it. It's if you're watching the Rangers game tomorrow, you will see us on TV because of where we will be sitting.
Guarantee you that.
It is fantastic. Money Paradox on YouTube has the $1 million question.
Yes, you do.
Do you?
Yes.
I don't know.
There's a red sack and a blue sack,
and that's what you reach into to get your mystery ball.
No, you pay the money, then you grab the whole sack. But you have to open the sack.
So your ball comes in a sack.
It comes in a sack. Yes.
You're
looking to grab the knob. So yes.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true.
It's a great way to end the show.
Well. Yes, it is.
I think we bail out now.
I think that's a great idea. Eject. Again, this has been a blast. Thanks for spending your Friday with us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Extra innings with Pledge, the abbreviated version.
Although we're giving an extra minute or two.
Yeah, we are, and he is appreciative of that.
No,
I know he is.
No, he's not.
Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you guys Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is KTFM Floresville and streaming online at sasportstar.com.